Hi, my friends. Welcome to Sort of Brilliant, a show where the characters are made up and the sorting absolutely does matter. My name is Rachel.
And I'm her best friend and co-host, Lauren. Every other week, we're going to invade a fandom and determine whether your favorite character belongs in Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, or Slytherin.
We're the Harry Potter podcast that talks way more about any other franchise.
Here, we use the sorting structure from Harry Potter as a common language without supporting the author or her beliefs. As for the sorting itself, there's bound to be some arguments along the way.
But in the end, we're always right.
According to us.
According to us. We're simply the best. Dun, dun, dun. Better than all the rest. Oh, yeah. Let's do it. Hello. Welcome back to Sob Pod. We are simply the best. It's true. And today we're
sort of the best.
Sort of the best. No, we are the best.
I like the sort of the best, especially because, you have another podcast on here.
Fine. I was just leading up to saying.
Who's talking before they've been introduced?
I was just going to say we have the best of the best with us. The boobs of the boobs with us. Am I allowed to introduce you now, Meg?
I don't know. It's your show.
Oh, okay. Great. Then I'm going to hold off. Lauren, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm so good. Do you want to just talk about whatever and then it can come in later?
That's what this show is anyway, right?
For
we don't talk about specifics. It's just shooting the shit.
It is.
It doesn't matter if they talk anyway because we can be like, hey, Hannah, you know those tracks that have the voices that aren't us.
Just delete.
Just accidentally
do a whole podcast of just your guys' reactions.
We should just delete them anyway because all of Carla's sorts I hear are guesses, so I'm not sure that they count. There's no passion behind them. She's got no attachment to any of them.
It's all passion. I'm passionate about not wanting to be wrong.
That's fair.
There are no Hufflepuffs in this club tonight, just so that you all... I don't know if everybody's listened to our past episodes. Or episode? Do we only have one? We only have one.
Sad.
Our past episode with Carla and Meg, but we got 2 Gryffindors, a Ravenclaw, and a Slytherin. So we're not tempered in the slightest.
We are off the rails tonight.
We're gonna have
Meg, are you done with the
marriage
Hufflepuff
to
thing?
genocidal maniacs and that sort of thing?
True.
Well, there gets to a point with the Hufflepuff thing where it's fun to give Lauren a hard time and call myself a Hufflepuff, but then I get to the point where I feel like she's actually going to come find me and kill me, and I have
you're
to
also
stop.
like, this is so disgusting and wrong that I just don't want to live this life anymore.
No, it's still really fun, but at this point, we've been in a panini for so long, I would welcome you coming and just killing me, because then I could see you. Lauren,
morbidly
so
adorable.
Excited.
Wow.
And
Right?
then you just strangle me.
Meg's putting on a show, but
like
privately she's
help.
been like, I keep saying I'm a Hufflepuff so much that I actually start thinking that I am, and it's not right. So I need to
Do you want to hear the sickest thing ever? Sometimes I question myself too. I really do. Because I have this thing where I'm like, wow.
That's really not a surprise because you thought you were a Ravenclaw.
Look how
Yeah, but that
yellow
was
my
based in
background
nothing
is.
except wanting my name to fit the pun and wanting to like books before I understood anything. So,
Wanting to like books, you didn't like
No,
books?
I guess I
Honestly.
did like books. I don't anymore, sadly. I just read fanfic.
Oh, same.
What has
I
happened?
mean,
It's unpublished books.
They're
Sure.
book
correct. Yes.
It's valid. Yeah.
Speaking of unpublished books, just putting out there that Lauren's fic, probably all of them, should be published at some point because I want a physical copy in my hand. I'm just
Oh,
putting that out there.
Same.
it's cute and true. I'd buy that.
I want to hold it.
Lauren, you want $1?
I mean, I'll sell it to you. It's online for free, but you can give me money.
Basically, this is Lauren's GoFundMe.
Yeah, it's my Ko-Fi or whatever. Yeah, I don't have one of those, but Patreon?
Buy me a coffee.
Buy me a coffee, yeah. Anyway, this is the Schitt's Creek episode, which we are doing on behalf of Haley, who we did trivia on It's a Fandom Thing pod in God knows when. I don't know.
It was a
feels
while
like
ago.
2 years ago, but it was probably like 3 months. But
It was a bit ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, was it? I don't know. Haley answered the question, I'm pretty sure, about Bella's skirt. So
Bella Swan's khaki skirt.
Yeah.
Good job, Haley.
Red Mocha. Yeah. Anyway, so she got to choose. She's the first person ever to dictate what we sort. as much as we keep promising that people will be allowed to do that and then just not doing it. Haley told us to do Schitt's Creek, which we were gonna do anyway. Haha. So
She put it in writing. She put it in writing. It felt
Yeah.
like we were legally obligated to.
Yeah, before the end of the year. So it's happening now. Speaking of people who like this podcast, we are so excited because we had, I don't know if you guys know this, but you can leave us audio messages on Anchor, which I like vaguely knew, but like never paid attention to. But last Friday, I was like sitting at a friend's house, like chilling, watching TV, and Anchor was like, you got an audio message. And I was like, what? And then I was fully prepared for somebody to be like doing something inappropriate or like swearing. But no, yeah, Meg, you do it one day. But but no, we got a new listener. Her name is Barb. She's awesome. She found us through Supernatural. So it's not all in vain. People are finding us through Supernatural that we have not spoken about. Well, we speak about it every time. But, you know.
True.
Not in depth. But so Barb asked us, I guess Hannah can plug it in right here with her special audio skills. You can listen to what Barb said.
Hey, ladies, I just discovered you from my friend who loves Supernatural, and then I listened to your community episode. And I would really love for you to do the characters of Good Place, because let's face it, we don't know where any of them really belong. So please consider doing them. It might take you 2 or 3 episodes, especially if you get into some of the demons, but I think it would be a lot of fun. Thanks.
Yeah, so Barb wants us to sort the Good Place, which we are definitely going to do. She kind of makes a point that it is a little hard to know where everybody is. But Barb, I will just let you know I'm the biggest Kristen Bell fan in the world. And I've been watching the Good Place from the beginning. And I personally know where I'm putting Eleanor and Chidi and Tahani. And
Jason.
oh no, Jason, thank you. The Jacksonville Jaguars, yes. Portals. But anyway, yes. I know where I'm putting them. Meg made a face like she wants to be on that episode. So if you enjoy Meg and Carla, let us know and maybe we'll like let them on.
This is your test, guys.
If you don't, this is your audition. If Barb's like, I didn't like those two like shrill voiced women, we're gonna be like, oh, okay.
Like if you don't enjoy us, don't say anything.
Yeah, correct.
Silence.
If you do enjoy us, don't say anything. Just don't say anything one way or the other.
No, heap praise upon us. We
No,
like
but
that.
see, then if no one says anything at all, we can be like, see, everyone loved us because we told them not to say anything.
Please don't ruin Meg's life, Barb, because she's been begging to come back on our show. So.
I'm a thirsty bitch.
Well,
Anyway, that was
speaking of
my
thirsty
announcements.
bitches, these are the boobs from Bed Wed Behead Pod. Hello, Meg.
Did we not
Hello,
say that?
Carla. I don't think we did.
Did you just call them
Hi.
boobs?
Yeah, that's
I
kind
don't know.
of how
What are
people
you,
refer
Josh?
to us now.
No,
these days.
who was their little sister, Megan? She called them boobs.
Boobs.
You boobs.
It's true. They're the boobs.
We're the boobs.
They called themselves that. I'm allowed.
We are the boobs. We sign out.
I'm saying, but you didn't elaborate. Like, where are they from? You were just like, these two boobs are.
You
on
are
our
going to
show.
have to need to go hit the rewind button and re-listen because I said the
Okay.
name of the podcast.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, you just did.
Hannah's so excited about
Lauren,
this.
Lauren, don't start this early. Anyway, the boobs really, really love Schitt's Creek, right, guys?
Like so much.
Yes.
Like a lot.
Like a lot.
It's
We
one of my
love
favorite
it.
shows.
Like we love it. Like Moira loves Johnny.
Like
What
Moira
about
loves using ridiculous
Wigs.
accents
Wigs.
and superfluous.
Moira loves wigs.
Like Moira loves a thesaurus.
but not the babies.
But not the babies.
I need to get some wigs like Moira. I feel like it's a good goal in life is to just routinely pop those on and off.
I do not maintain my own hair.
Me neither.
I could not imagine having like 30 different wigs
But Meg, that's
to try.
why. That's why. Pop
That's-
this in
yeah.
a low pony. Pop it on. New person.
But then you have to maintain the wig, and I'm not trained
No,
for
throw
that.
them out when you're done and, can't new ones.
You cannot throw out Cassandra.
Shave an animal and just
Miranda
pop it
can't
on.
take the smoke.
Well, we also very much like Schitt's Creek. So, Haley, thank you for the recommendation. We are finally making good on our promise. But also, Meg and Carla have asked for Schitt's Creek before too.
Yeah.
I
Well,
do seem to
true.
recall.
If I can make Haley feel as crazy listening to me talk about Schitt's Creek as I got listening to you guys talk about Outlander, then I feel like I will have done my job.
Haley never agrees
Haley's
with
also
me
been on the
already,
show. We're an
so
incestuous show. Everybody's just connected to us.
She
in
was on
some way.
Outlander, and I remember listening to it, and I think I had to stop because I was like, "Yo, they're wrong." That's like,
You're wrong, Meg. I don't even want to hear. I've never seen the fucking show, and I don't want to hear about Jamie as a Hufflepuff. You didn't give me anything. I recorded a whole podcast about it.
I stopped listening. It was making me insane.
Fucking
And I was like, when can I get on there and refute and say, give Jamie Hufflepuff
There's no
rights?
refuting. It's set in stone. It's done. Isis knows that too. She was like, well, like, your sorting isn't awful. And we were like, good enough. And now it's like,
Law.
you know, yeah, it is set in stone. You know? Hannibal's a
Perfect.
Hufflepuff and Will's a Ravenclaw. And like, we respect
I don't even
Isis,
want to
but
hear.
That is the canon.
I don't even want to hear that Will is
Sorting
anything but a Ravenclaw in my life. I don't ever want to hear it. I can't handle it. Can't do it.
Rachel does
We've
love
talked
her
about this
Ravenclaws.
I do.
before. Well, we've talked about this before too, where it's like we have no like personal investment in the character, but we get extremely invested in where they're sorted.
Right.
When we're like otherwise have no connection to them. Like I've talked about this with Steve Rogers. Like otherwise don't care, but people are telling me he's anything but a Slytherin, and I'm like ready to throw down. Like
Same.
I'm gonna
I feel like that also, definitely.
with Steve
characters.
Rogers.
With any characters, I'm very
With
passionate.
all the characters.
I'm very passionate about the houses they're sorted into.
Are you really? So have you been studying? Have you been preparing for this episode? How have you guys been preparing?
Well, Carla just threw darts at a board.
Nice.
So-
no. Listen, I took a very scientific approach whereby I took a lot of notes as I was rewatching the show, and I was also interspersing episodes with listening to episodes of Sort of Brilliant. And what I have done is that I have created a mental matrix of all of your criteria for each house. And then as I watched it, I was very sure about one character and completely unsure about all the rest. But that's okay. Because
No, you were
saying
very
is
sure
like,
about
I'm not
all of
done,
the
Meg.
characters.
I am not done.
Excuse you.
Honestly. And
This
then
is the
I
Carla moment.
applied the matrix to all of the character traits that I saw, and ultimately went to Meg asking for her help and guidance, which she gave to me, and which I have now in the last 15 minutes before we started recording completely refuted.
So wait, this is interesting. Did you sort based on what you thought we would do, or
Nope.
did you sort based on
Listen,
our criteria,
not for nothing.
or did you sort based on your own you?
Not for nothing, but I don't care what anybody else is going to do. I hold the
Okay.
truth. I hold the higher truth.
She
Therefore,
came to me this afternoon and was like, I know, I'm going to give you my notes.
most
And
of them
sent
are
me her
tentative.
notes. Sent me her notes, and then I read them and I refuted them. And now the notes we have, she has a whole bunch of stuff crossed out, literally because she got mad that I was right. And changed her mind on at least 2, if not 3 of the characters.
On 3 of them.
Because
but I
we
went back
agreed
and I
on 1.
changed
We agreed
back.
on 1.
Yes, but I went back and
Wow.
I changed my mind back on at least 2 of them. So we shall
Okay,
see how this
without
goes.
letting Meg know. So okay.
No, it's on the notes,
yeah.
so she knows.
Oh, okay. I think the super interesting thing about sortology, copyright pending, is that
Sorry, I need a moment to grab my napkin here. Wine on my
I
boobies.
mean, Carla spit wine over herself. It's you know, it's moving, it's fluid. So like Rachel and I have it, but then we take in on everybody else. And you know, like we make this show of being like we're always right, but you know, we take it all in. We're not. Well, I don't know.
What a
Rachel, but,
liar.
Like I listen. Yeah.
What a horrible lie.
No.
I'm waiting for her to say
Because here's the
JK,
thing.
guys.
No, here's the thing, because you know, with Schitt's Creek, I was like, I rewatched the show last week. I rewatched it in like 4 days because I've only seen it through once, and I I caught up with it during season 5, so then I had to wait the year until Netflix got it on season 6 because I didn't feel like hacking into Canada.
Hacking into Canada.
Yeah, you know, they had it on like the channel, the Pop, CBC, whatever.
Pop is free.
No, the CBC, the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation or whatever.
Right.
When
But the
you
Pop
have
app
to have
is
the
free.
VPN, but you have to have the VPN for Canada.
Well, maybe you don't if you live
North
in
Indian
lower
sponsors
Canada
this
like you do, Meg.
You're in fucking
I
Wisconsin.
know.
You're in Canada anyway.
I got the Pop app and I just watched it live on Pop.
I
All
couldn't do
through
that.
Season 6.
That's a lie. I couldn't do it either.
Well,
anyway,
maybe it's a user problem.
Anyway, rewatched the entire thing too and was legitimately like, I'm not feeling super strongly about any of this. Like, I really just, So I did what you do, and I went on the internet to see what people thought, and then I got mad at people on the internet. That's how I sort sometimes when I'm like not totally sure about it. I go on the internet and read people's takes, and I go, "You're stupid," and then I make up my own.
Fun story. I did my sorting and then I went on the internet just because I'm not as I like the characters I know really well, but the houses I'm not nearly as familiar with. But I went on there and I saw what people were sorting and I was like, okay, I feel better because these people are all wrong.
Yeah, so you may align with Lauren. Wow.
I made the mistake last time that we were on here of reading how other people define houses. And then the two of you told us that that's completely wrong. So this time I completely disregarded any of that and only went based off of your episodes. So I feel pretty strongly that
Which episodes did you listen to?
Okay, so I listened to both community episodes. I re-listened to Superstore and Clueless, and then I listened to one like your episode 3 about like Dash and Lily, that's what it is, which I've never seen, but I had reasons for listening to it.
Yeah. Huh.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Well, and I think it's going to be
You're
really
on a
fun
right track here, Carla.
for the next few weeks when Carla and I do our podcast. We will be unable to help but talk about Hogwarts houses.
Yeah.
As you should.
As always happens after one of you guys are on our show or we're on your show. Afterwards, they're just like, but what house would they be like? And it's ridiculous.
Anyway, we already know what houses you're in. We've talked about it. That's our usual like go-to with guests. We do talk. We can talk a little bit. Like, how'd you get into Schitt's Creek?
Okay.
What's your relationship to Schitt's Creek?
My relation started with just seeing a lot of people talking about it on Twitter. And then, pandemic times. So you do what you do. You watch stuff that you wouldn't otherwise watch. And when I first started the show,
didn't see it till the pandemic?
No, exactly. Yeah, because I hadn't heard of it really very much. And then, that's how long it feels, Meg, because Meg's looking at me quizzically. But no, I didn't start watching it until the pandemic. Because a friend of ours was tweeting a lot about it. So I was like, okay, I'll check it out. I'll put it on in the background. And the first season was kind of draggy for me, but like late into the first season and then immediately after, like from the second on, I was so sucked in. And then Patrick comes on the scene and I'm like, that's it. My soul belongs to you now.
See, this has me really reevaluating how I got into Schitt's Creek because I'm pretty sure I thought I got into it because you told me to watch it and I thought it was some like Letterkenny shit. But I'm pretty sure I started watching it before the pandemic.
No, it was definitely before the you know what? It was Criminal Minds that I was thinking of. No, you're right. No, but it was Twitter. Okay.
You mixed up Schitt's Creek and Criminal Minds?
Okay, listen. At this point, I've had half a bottle of wine. So you're lucky that I'm sitting upright.
You spit up half of it down your shirt, so.
Yes, well,
As you do.
As you do. But no, Meg's right. I had started long before the pandemic, but it was through Twitter because friends of mine were like, "Oh, this show is so great," and I was like, "I don't know people that I know. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're wrong. I'll check this out for myself." So I did, and everything I said about the season 1 and season 2 and season 3. Yeah, and then I was like, "Man, you have to watch the show. You have to watch it." I don't know. I don't want to watch the show. And then I was like, "I have to watch it."
I watched seasons 5 and 6 live, so it was before and I made my sister and my mom watch it for Friendly Night. And that was before the pandemic. My mom and my sister and I get together and we do Friendly because we're friends and family. And it's us drinking wine and watching TV without our kids or husbands.
So I'm curious. Okay, so Carla, your favorite is Patrick from the show.
No.
Who's your favorite character?
David.
Meg, who's your favorite?
David.
Okay, Lauren, who's your favorite?
Alexis.
I love
Yours
Alexis.
is Moira.
I love her.
Rachel's is Moira, for anybody who
I
wants to know. The Lucille Bluth character.
I do have to say, I love every single character in this show except
for Roland.
Roland.
Roland Schitt.
Roland
is
is
the worst.
That's
just
kind of fair.
the only one who does not ever grow on
I don't
me.
like Bob.
And I love Bob because he's
I love
just
the way Bob runs.
his slick run.
You can't love Bob because of the way he runs. What about his character?
And then after Gwen leaves him, and he's just such a
He's
sad
A
sack.
sobby mess. Yes.
Oh my
No,
gosh.
but as much as I love David, and he's the person that like I gravitate the most towards in my mind, most of what I have picked up as far as mannerisms and quotes are Alexis.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah. She's super
Love that
funny.
for me.
She's my number 2.
Yeah.
And then it's David.
She had some amazing growth in the show.
I think I'm going to make Little Bit Alexis my ringtone after this. I think I might just do that. Oh, it's
So wait
good.
then, Rachel,
That's my
who's your
ringtone
number
already.
one on the show?
Moira.
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 Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
she's great.
Oh my God.
Just
She's
the
the
way
best.
she talks is so iconic.
I can't.
She's amazing. I could not actually spend any significant amount of time with her in real life, but I
Why
absolutely love
not?
her
She
so
is
much.
a hoot. She's
Because-
a hoot.
I can't be around people more dramatic than me.
What? That's the best. That's the best. I constantly am looking for that in my life. Someone
Actually,
be
you know
more
what?
dramatic.
You're right. I like to really watch other people's drama. I don't want to be involved in it. I just want to watch it from afar.
And they can tell you all about it.
and poke at it, like just
Right.
put like the little perfect sentence you can say to one person and have them go off on somebody. It's a beautiful thing.
Oh, it's perfect.
Mm.
Love that. Love that journey for us, Meg.
Not surprised.
Rachel, how'd you get into Schitt's Creek?
Netflix. The end.
Why? You just Netflix
Yeah,
was like,
I
watch
was-
this show, you dumb hoe.
Yep,
You
yeah.
can't pick things for yourself.
Absolutely. It recommended it to me, and I was like, that looks funny. And oh man, those two have the same eyebrows. I wonder if they're related. And then they were.
Wow.
So I came for
Thank
the eyebrows
God
and I stayed
for
for Moira.
Twyla. That Twyla.
Yeah.
You mean other than the fact that she looks exactly like her father?
Did
She
not
looks
pick
exactly
up on it. Did
like
not
her
pick up on
dad,
it.
but the eyebrows are iconic and they look very, very good on Eugene and Daniel.
Dan.
Levy.
Let's look. Does
I
anyone else
feel
have
like it'd
trouble
be-
though with Eugene Levy because you're like American Pie?
No.
Anyone?
No.
Okay.
No, you know why? Because I
This
feel
is
like
the
Lauren
age
back when he did
He gave a hand job in a
Um,
movie theater.
This is the age gap. This is the age gap right here.
yeah,
How's the age
Splash.
gap?
Splash. That's
Okay.
where I
Eugene
first saw
You
Levy's
him.
don't picture
always
him giving a
Splash.
hand job?
Hold on a
in
second.
movie
Is
theater when you watch
Splash a thing? Wait, what is Splash? Hold on. What is Splash?
The mermaid movie.
Excuse me, what?
Oh,
Sorry.
my God.
Okay.
Tom
Okay.
Hanks?
Sorry, I'm watching a show on
Carol
Hulu right now
I'm
with
about to kick
Selena
you
Gomez,
out
and
of this group.
they were talking about a thing. Don't worry about
Are you
it.
thinking about Aquamarine?
No, that's a great movie though.
We're never gonna get to. We're never gonna get to.
No, we're
this
never
I'm
gonna
so
get
sorry.
H2O.
H2. Team
I
H2.
Lauren,
Welcome
how
to
did you
Sort
get
of
into
Boobs.
Schitt's Creek?
Where we talk about everything but the subject at hand.
Can we start Aquamarine?
So good.
Our movie episodes did not do well. Y'all let us down. We wanted to have an easy time just sorting 90 minutes instead of watching these 5-year-long TV shows. And y'all won't give us the numbers.
How dare
don't
you
get
not make
movies
Clueless do
anymore.
better?
You
How
don't get
dare
movies
you?
anymore.
Oh
You
my
get
God,
series
I loved
of
your
movies
guys'
or TV
Clueless
shows.
episode
Me
so much,
too.
and
I
it made
love
me
it.
want to watch Clueless. It made me want to read Emma and watch the BBC versions of Emma, and it actually
Wow.
made me again tell Carla that, like it or not, we are going to do a Jane Austen Heroes episode of Bedwood Behead with Lauren.
We
I will
will.
give you-
We will.
I will give
I
you
just don't have to
the
be happy
things
about
to
it.
watch. I'm not gonna. You don't have to read them. You'll go off the BBC versions.
Sure.
That's what I do, Carla. I haven't read them.
Okay, cool.
I don't
That
know.
works for me then.
You should, though, because you loved them. You've seen Pride and Prejudice.
But now I've
and
seen
Emma.
it though. I was like,
Yeah, and it's true that the BBC version is basically the book.
I'll read a
so-
Destiel version of them.
Oh yeah.
God.
That I will do.
Pies and Prejudice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
yeah.
we're never gonna. Okay,
Never
guys,
getting
hey,
there.
Lauren,
Let's talk
how'd
about
you
Dean and
get into?
Cass.
Lauren, how'd you
Oh,
get into Schitt's Creek?
Yeah. Meg, you cut back to Rachel saying it. Anyway, so Meg's not a host. Anyway, so I actually don't remember. It wasn't Netflix. People were probably talking about it. I remember exactly when I watched it. It was when I moved out here. Because I remember I didn't have furniture for like a week or two. My parents had to drive it from Chicago. And I remember laying on the floor of my bedroom with absolutely no furniture and just my laptop and just watching Schitt's Creek. But I think that was the last season. I think that was season 6. So I had watched it all beforehand. I feel like I remember watching it in college, which is crazy. So I don't know why. People were probably talking about it. It was in the throes of, Destiel, the like they had announced the show was ending, so we were all like, it's gonna happen, and not really, but then it did. Anyway, not getting into that.
But not really.
But there was a canonical gay romance on the show, and yeah, so that's how I got into it, and it was like a show. It was fine. I liked it enough to keep watching it. It was because it's not like I love Schitt's Creek. Like I watched all 6 seasons, but it's not like
not enough people aren't
funny
happy for you to enjoy it.
Well,
there's nowhere near enough.
There's not enough
angst.
There's no conflict, but also like it's not like Arrested Development. It's not like I'm like dying or whatever. And I will say that the second time I rewatched it, I enjoyed it more because I didn't expect there to be any conflict. So I like wasn't waiting for it. I was just like, it's just always going to be like this. So like I laughed a little more, but
they're always going to be happy, these fuckers.
Yeah.
Damn them.
I concur. Where's the
But I said it
pain?
much nicer than Rachel
Are we
would
like
have.
on the wrong show,
Anyway.
Meg?
I feel like
Okay, well,
it.
you're going to fight for it, and then we're going to fight over their houses. So I'm super excited about this because I've been seeing a lot of back and forth with Meg and Carla today about the sorting in their chats, and it's hilarious. So
We don't know what they chose though.
we have no idea. I'm so excited.
No, we've kept the suspense up.
Carla keeps scrolling through our shared document, and it's driving me crazy.
We don't
I'm
have
not
a shared
doing
document.
anything.
10 minutes before this podcast started, I texted Rachel and told her all my choices.
Yeah.
And we had like 2-second conversations.
We'll tell them.
about them.
We'll tell them when we get to each character. Who should we start with? Guests, you can decide.
Let's
that's so
start
nice of
with
you.
let's start
With
with Alexis.
Carla.
Let's
Oh,
start with
Alexis,
Alexis.
yeah.
with Carla.
Because that's
Okay.
the one where Meg and I absolutely concurred. Okay, so
Okay.
Alexis is a Slytherin. It seems to me pretty clear. There's just like to me there's so much evidence for it. She has like all of that unearned confidence. Like she just walks into a room and she takes charge. And
What the fuck do you mean unearned? Continue.
She's right.
whether or not she's qualified to be the one speaking, she's the one speaking. And she takes over a room quickly because she is certain that she's the only person who can lead whatever it is going on. She likes to argue just for the hell of it. Like she'll take anything. And okay, no, I'm going to backtrack a little bit and say first that she likes to play devil's advocate, and she does it mostly with David and mostly to rile him up because it's easy for her because she's the brother and sister, so she knows all his buttons. But she'll also do it with pretty much anybody, and it's in part because she's really good at as much as she's very self-involved, she's also very good at figuring people out and figuring out what makes them tick, what makes them think the way that they think. And she uses that for her own purposes.
Well, you don't get yourself out of hostage situations by not being smart and manipulative.
Right. No, exactly. But I know it sounds like I'm putting her down, but it's no, that time, Meg, I did scroll up and down. Sorry. But she does have all of these skills at her disposal, and she's honed them by ending up in really, really tricky situations. She's been a hostage on a pirate ship. She's been held by a
Saudi prince.
Yes. She's had to play Russian roulette to save a friend who was abducted. Like all of these, wild situations that she seems to end up in, and she talks her way out of them. She talked her way out of what was it? She got a speeding ticket while driving. Oh no, she was driving in a burqa and whatever. So she has a wealth of life experience, but also not in certain ways. Like, there's no reason she should have been successful as Ted's assistant at the vet clinic. She talked herself into the position. She talked herself away from the position. She talked herself in and out of like a lot of different things that she had no real business qualifying for. And hang on. She needs to be in control of some things, but only the things that really matter to her. Like, some things, if it doesn't suit her purpose, she doesn't really care about. But for me, the most glaring thing is that she always has to have a purpose. She always has to have a goal. And, you know, this comes up again and again when she starts. The reason that she starts school is because she comes to find out, okay, well, her college diploma isn't valid. So she goes back with the goal of going back to school. She goes to college because she's now driven to pursue a career. She sets up her business because she finds something that she's good at and she wants to go and dive deeply into that. And then most importantly, she ends up she ends up breaking up with Ted because their goals just no longer line up in the big picture. And as much as that was very hard for her, and as much as she was heartbroken by that, she knew that in the long run, she wanted to be a publicist, and she had this budding career, and she was so good at it. And she doesn't begrudge Ted his following his dream, but she's not going to sway from her path to follow him, which was partly growth, because when she was younger, she would have. But it's also partly, I think, that she's embraced who she is now and has really come to flourish as her own person. And that's the thing that I love most about her, is that she's very true to herself. She feels very confident in who she is, and she knows her strengths, and she becomes even stronger in them, which is just like, I think, so flippin' admirable. I think she's one of the she definitely had the biggest growth arc in the show, and she's just fascinating, and I absolutely love her and her Alexis hands. We're all doing it right now, and I love that about us. I love this journey for us, you guys.
Ew, David.
Ew, David.
It's my turn to take
Meg?
a selfish. So yeah, Carla said a lot of it. I think what
She
for
stole
me-
all your stuff from the document?
No, she wrote most of the stuff on the document. I mostly wrote down the letters of who I thought, and then I was just gonna wing it after other people started talking, because that's who I am.
Meg's like, oh my god, I had the same thought.
Oh my gosh, it's crazy. But one of the things that kind of made me feel like Alexis was a Slytherin, and it's going to come across as like bad, but I don't mean it in a bad way, but she very much puts herself first. She puts her needs and desires generally ahead of other people's when we talk about her and Ted. And it's not a bad thing. I think it broke my heart that Alexis and Ted broke up and how that ended and everything like that.
So
but I thought
dumb.
it was beautiful, though, and completely right, because there was no way Alexis was going to go to the Galapagos Islands.
But there's no
that was
reason
just
for them
never
to be
gonna
like,
happen.
let's revisit this in a couple of years. Like, they were
They
like, we're
did.
dead forever.
They did.
In my mind, they did.
They're
In my
already
mind,
they're married.
in a few years. Ted was giving
With
a
no pets.
lecture in New York on
Yes.
his discoveries, and then he ran into Alexis in a coffee shop, and then they ran off and got married. That's my headcanon.
But yeah, but she generally does tend to put herself first, and not in like being a selfish kind of way necessarily, even though it is her turn to take a selfish. But in a way that she knows her own value. It is her turn to take a selfish. She will not lay close.
She held that for years, too.
She did. Oh my gosh, she did. But she is not the. If your tire blows on the highway, she is not the person that you would call, because I mean, if it works for her, then yes, she will come and help you.
One text, David.
the fact that David even texted her at all is the most baffling thing to me in the entire world. But she is very loyal to the people that she loves, and she expects that loyalty in return. But she's very cunning. She's very manipulative. You cannot get into and out of the situations that Alexis gets into and out of without being really, really sneaky smart in a lot of ways. And she comes across like surface level. You would think she's kind of an idiot in a lot of ways because she does very much have like the hands and the
Valley
very
Girl
flaky
speak and
very shallow. But she's not. She's much deeper than that, and she's much smarter than I think she really lets anybody get involved in. But it's not necessarily book smarts; it's life smarts.
Well, that's what makes her such a good publicist too.
Yeah,
is that she can figure out like what's ticking in the
and
world,
and she can figure shit out on like the drop of a dime.
Yes,
she can make painted seagulls look like a great PR. A great PR moment instead of a colossal mess.
Yeah, but she can turn any situation around to her benefit. Like, so the episode where they all go, Stevie, David, Patrick, and Alexis go to visit the venue that David wants for the wedding, and at the end,
oh my god, he's such a bitchy bride.
Yeah,
yes.
She does the same thing for the dress barn. She's like really the one who like, negotiates that shit.
Yes, because she's amazing at it. But
yeah, she's just spewing shit. She's like, like the venue and the food and the catering, and David's like, catering and food are same.
Right? But she says it with such confidence that it's hard not to believe that she knows what she's talking about, because she just sounds really, really confident in what she's saying. But what I was going to say is that when they're talking about the date for the wedding and how, if they book it in a month, they'll get this huge discount. And Alexis gets all mad because she won't be there in a month. She's supposed to be in the Galapagos with Ted. And then it turns out that, oops, she made a booking error and her flight doesn't leave for another month. And then she presents it to David as like his wedding present. I'm going to push my flight back just to be here with you so you can have the wedding of your dreams. And Stevie's just in the background like, you were such a hypocrite.
God.
You're such a liar.
She's like, you're the worst. You're the worst.
Thank God she did that, though, because then you hear the pigs getting slaughtered. And they're like, never mind.
Which was unexpected fun. I did not expect to be just completely thrilled by that moment, but I was. But yeah, so she actually says, and I have to look at my notes. She actually says, maybe I'll just push my trip back by a month. And that's when like David knowing her so well, it's like, you mixed up the dates again, didn't you? So it, she takes this thing that's a mistake on her part. She turns it around to make it look like an altruistic thing. But that's her completely in a nutshell. She can twist any situation. Meg's making fun of me because I'm making Alexis hands right now, which is funny because I do this all the time. How are you not tired of this? But she takes any situation and can turn it around in her favor. And you know what? She doesn't always use it for evil. She generally, like,
I don't think she hardly ever uses it for evil.
I was saying, like, in the very beginning of the show, like the first season, when she's less bearable, she does tend to use things in her favor a lot more.
It's never not bearable.
When she tries to convince them that this town is actually pretty cute, and then maybe it'd be great for everyone to stay because Stavros is taking her place. I love her so much, though.
Okay.
Well,
yes.
Yeah, we agree.
Yeah.
We totally agree.
We got one right.
Woo! That is the last time that you will hear the sigh of relief of us being right.
Alexis is Slytherin, yeah.
You guys,
there were a couple of...
you guys were hitting every point. The two main points for me that were two things that you guys said. So when Meg said the self-centered thing, for sure, it's not malicious at all. Nobody, like, I really genuinely feel like no other house would show up in a white dress and not realize what they were doing. Do you know what I mean?
It had a headdress,
and it was like, it's not malicious.
And then she worried about it. And she's like, the more I think about it, it kind of is like a wedding dress, and I ruined your whole day.
Right? Yeah, and she felt bad. So Okay, so it's that, and then it's also the just being inexplicably good at things that she has no business being good at, but just making it work. She comes in, bullshits everybody, and it's always worked for her. Why wouldn't it continue to work? Very, very Slytherin. And I've seen this in other Slytherins too, like in Jonah, in just in general in other episodes we've done where like they're in a job that maybe is not their end goal or their ultimate goal, but they're excelling at it.
She has the confidence of a mediocre white man, and it just is beautiful.
Super true.
Well, it's like Cher. Like, she got C's and D's in school, and she's a straight A student. Like, you know, she's like, and we talked about Cher too. Like, I could imagine Alexis making that Haitian. Like, you know,
absolutely,
the Haitians.
But it's like, but like I said this in the Clueless episode, Cher was really smart. Like, she was saying exactly, everybody else. I don't know. I had a couple more things. When I was talking to Rachel earlier, I had forgot to mention all of like her exploits as a child, although that was one of my big points that, like, how do you get out of that unless you're like willing to adapt and go with the flow and figure it out or whatever. And I was remembering actually the driver's license episode when she's like poking at David because he has to get his driver's license again. But she's like, I have it in 12 different countries. And she's just like, I just had to do it. So I do. And that's also the episode where David is like, everything comes so easily to you. Like, you don't have to do any work. And she's like, that's not true at all. Like, I do a lot of work. Like, I got 12 driver's licenses and, you know, like, so that's very Slytherin. I felt so that I was actually like considering, because, you know, people on the internet said she was a Gryffindor. And I was like, no. But then I was thinking about it because she kind of uses like men as a validation. And I was like, oh, maybe. But then I was like, no. Because I think she's like looking for her person. Like, I think she's looking for somebody. Because when she was like Little Rich Girl, it was very shallow. She was with like Stavros, and all of her relationships were like very quick or like very like a Saudi prince, and like she was just doing it to do it or whatever. But then like when she got to Schitt's Creek, it was kind of like Mutt and Ted were kind of like a little more, I don't know, like serious. Like she was actually looking for somebody. And when she broke up with Ted that last time, and she went out with the old Artie, she went out with Artie, and she's like, I can't even get a gross old man to like me. and like it really just felt like she's like genuinely looking for someone, which is why the ending was also so very Slytherin, because like, yes, Slytherins have people, but they're all also like always about themselves first. And she was like, you know, I'm gonna do me and work on me, and the person will come to me. And then she does have her family, and she has David, who is very much somebody that she enjoys. And then she out of all of them is the fastest one to adapt to the town. Like, she immediately gets a job at the vet clinic. That's another thing I said to Rachel. She made Ted give it to her legitimately. So she's like, I want to earn it like everybody else. And like, she has the interview with him. And Ted's like, do you know how to work spreadsheets? And she's like, okay, that's enough. We know I got the job legitimately now. Like, it's fine. But then, she gets, it's not that her high school diploma like wasn't correct. She skipped out on the last, on her second semester. So she had to finish up the semester. So she was like, oh, I need high school to go to college, and I want to go to college. And then also it was like her parents were like, we went to your high school graduation, like, you were there, and she's like, no, I wasn't. Like, she doesn't even care. She's like, I wasn't there. Like, she's like, no. And then when she graduates her 4 months at community college, she's just like, I have a business now.
In pubic service.
Immediately gets clients. Like, she's like, now I'm a business, and I'm going to be your publicist.
Pubic relations.
Yes,
pubic relations.
Yes. Yeah. No, but she like immediately, it's just like, now I have a business, and she gets clients, and it's like, okay, girl. When they were trying to get her to join Cabaret, she literally did not give a shit. She was like, you think that somebody would like that would like throw a fit? And then they're like, oh, no, you're going to be dancer. She's like, okay, whatever. Like, she's like, I don't care, guys.
She's going to be the best goddamn dancer that they have.
Yeah, exactly. She's going to do the best that she can at like whatever. She's like extremely honest. And she never gets like, and I think because she's so honest, like she doesn't get punished for it. Like, I know we talk a lot about Slytherins like having to be what they what they think others want them to be. But I think Alexis is one of the ones who's just so unapologetically herself that everybody else just like accepts it. Like, she's like, Ted, animals are gross. I hate them. And Ted's like, oh my God, as a vet, like all over her. She's like, Ted, I'm not into this. Like the dogs are watching us have sex. But she's like very honest. Or like, when I felt the way that she handled the engagement with Ted was very Slytherin, because she, first of all, like accepted, because she was like, well, somebody loves me and I like should do something with that. I should accept it. It would be mean. And then she's coming to the realization that she can't do this because it wouldn't be great for either one of them. And then she's having that conversation with Mutt where she's like, I'll just text him. And she's like, fine, maybe I'll tell him in person. But she like does it. She goes and tells him in person. And like, that's the other thing about Alexis. She always does the right thing. That's like the last thing I had was.
Well, as Twilight says, eventually.
Well, I was going to say, she 1000% uses Twyla as her moral compass. She shows up at the diner and is like, Twy, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm having this issue. And like, she doesn't actually take Twyla's advice. She takes her own advice, but she uses Twyla to like throw it all at and then be like, okay, so this is the right thing to do. And then she leaves and does it. So, or she takes what Twyla says and like spins it into the Alexis
right
way or whatever. But yes, very Slytherin, extremely Slytherin.
It's so smart of her though to know that she needs to have somebody like that to bounce things off of, instead of just kind of trying to formulate it in her mind.
Yes,
she knows. Okay, I have this resource, and I can lean on this, and it's not like in a bad way. It's like, she has somebody that she can go to and talk to openly, who will tell her, even as Twilight does things roundabout, but she still will lead her the right way.
All Slytherins have issues with moral compasses. It's the good ones who know that they need to go talk to somebody and like talk it out. The bad ones don't care. They're like, whatever. That's another thing. Sorry, Meg. There's another thing I wanted to say about Alexis too. She like knows that David is Moira's favorite, and she's totally accepted it. Like, she's not jealous. She's just like your mom's really favorite. True. And David's like, what are you talking about? And Alexis is like, yeah, mom. Like, and there's that whole thing when they try to force lunch, and Alexis is like not into it. She's like, I do not care that I'm not your favorite. Like, we can continue living life. And I think it has to do with her understanding Moira because of what Moira is. But yeah. Go ahead, Meg. Sorry.
No, I just wanted to point out, I think it's really, really interesting and weird that people think Alexis gets so much validation from the men in her life, when I really feel like one of my favorite things about her is that she does not need a man to validate her in any way, shape, or form. She likes attention from men. She likes what she can get from men, but I don't think she ever puts her own valuation and her own self-worth in men. Like, she likes men because they make her feel good. Mm-hmm. But she knows who she is, and she knows her own worth outside of a man. And I think that was something that becomes apparent throughout the show. Like, maybe in the beginning, she was much more attached to what, like Stavros, her validation through him. But I don't think that was even so much about him as it was about her previous status as a socialite. And
well, it's that, and also his ability, his theoretical ability to get her out of the town. Yeah. And take her back to her privileged life. Like, it really had nothing to do with Stavros himself. Like, I'm sure she would happily dump him if somebody better came along. And with Mutt and Ted, it was more that, at that point, it wasn't about carving out a future, and it wasn't about, the person who was right for her. It was just, I want Mutt. Mutt's hotter. This is the kind of person I want to be with. I'm going to go after Mutt.
And he shaves his beard.
Maybe validation is the wrong word, but Alexis definitely was like, I need a boyfriend. Like, she was obviously looking for a boy.
I feel like it was more, I need a distraction from what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
I don't know, because she was actively, like, she low-key used Ted to make Mutt jealous. That's another thing about Alexis, too. Like, that's gross and manipulative, but it wasn't at all with her. Like, she genuinely liked Ted and, like, didn't use him and broke up with Ted before she did anything with Mutt. But
and manipulated Twyla into breaking up with Mutt.
I'm glad though that Meg, the other Gryffindor, mentioned the whole validation comment, because I always go to bat for the Ravenclaws, and then Lauren calls me out. I'm going to go to bat for the Gryffindors. I want to know the meaning behind your statement about Gryffindors seeking validation from men.
That's all I've been sitting here
It's
waiting
just
for.
What the
general
hell?
validation from anybody.
Oh, but you said
mean,
from it.
No, she's not
yeah,
wrong.
because that would
She's
be
not wrong.
Alexis specifically as a Gryffindor. But you
But I don't think she's seeking
generally-
validation from men, so I think maybe that's where the discrepancy
Well,
is
she's
here.
not a Gryffindor, so.
But if she were in general, I don't find Gryffindors to be consistently seeking validation from men. Maybe validation from people
they
they give a
seek
shit
validation
about.
from people.
Rachel, that
If
is
they
a
care
great
about
valid argument, Rachel.
You seek validation from other people by your own.
In general, only to
admission.
make myself feel good about myself, though, because I
Yes.
care about that in
That's
a
what
sense.
validation
Literally what the whole
That's literally
point-
what
that's
validation is.
Sure, but I don't actually like. It's not really seeking it from romantic partners because I want to be a better romantic
No,
partner.
this is
whatever,
talking about
like-
romantic
Alexis
partners.
specifically.
Right.
If Alexis was a Gryffindor,
Yeah, I
that is
know.
what it would be. Okay, so I don't know.
right, but I don't see her as seeking that in general.
So because
Totally.
she's not a Gryffindor,
She's not a
so
Gryffindor.
this is a null conversation.
I
not
wanted
known
to
to me.
point out. I wanted to point out. I thought that was a very weird thing as an argument for her being a Gryffindor because I don't see her
That was my
seeking out
that's
validation.
my point. That's
And
my point.
Gryffindors, we do seek out validation from people.
I think
all
it's just the
time.
from men comment that pissed me off because I was like, I don't seek
Yeah.
validation from men for a fucking second. I don't care about them at all.
That would
Just
be
kidding.
Alexis
Do
specifically.
you not understand
She does not
that we're
really
talking
care about females.
men?
I picked something up from what she said. I got
Rachel
triggered
didn't
about
listen
it,
to the
and I
last
brought it
30
up. I
minutes
don't know
of
what the problem
conversation.
is. I'm
She's
allowed.
been sitting here waiting to say that. She's like, "What did
Yeah.
you guys say the last half hour? I lost 5 minutes of my audio. I have nothing contributing."
Yep.
Do you have anything to say about Alexis, Rachel?
I said what I had to say about it. She's an
You said,
obvious
you're
Slytherin.
right. She's a Slytherin.
She's a really obvious Slytherin. Yeah.
And she's like, and that's what I have to say.
The end. I was right. Thanks for the validation.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Only because none of us are men. That's what Rachel wants,
Exactly.
validation.
You get me.
Mhm. See you. I see you.
I feel like the embodiment of love that journey for me is Slytherin. I feel like that's all we really had to do.
That's true.
Love that journey for me.
Well, and oh my god, I do also love that she got Heather to sign an exclusivity deal with David for her cheeses. She's in the middle of like this emotional turmoil.
Yeah.
But she's still like, nope, gotta get that payday.
Yep.
Yep.
Or like
Gotta close the deal.
like Twyla turns out to be a 93 millionaire, 93 whatever, how much money she has. and she
Multi-millionaire.
gives- multi-millionaire, and she gives Alexis money at the end because like Alexis has been nice to her or whatever. And Alexis, is like, I want to do it on my own, which is very Slytherin. I also get the feeling there was some background, like, I have manipulated Twyla a lot. I
jewelry,
want to feel like I
guilt there.
manipulated this money out of her.
Jewelry
Yeah, the
exchange.
swaps and
Oh
the
my
lock-in. And the, I don't think you should write a song for Maya. I just don't think that would be a good journey for you. Like, I feel like there was some background, like, I will absolutely feel like I've manipulated this money out of Twilight, and I don't want to do that. So, no thanks.
That's a very fair assessment.
Yes. Anyway, Rachel, you pick the next one.
Oh my God, David. I think that's what we should do for sure. David.
David.
Oh
Okay.
boy, is this one of the ones that you guys thought about? It's the other three you said, right?
Yeah, it's basically everybody
Still
but
Alexis, you
Alexis.
agreed. Got
Alexis
it.
was the one lock.
Okay.
Okay, let's hear it.
All right. So we went back and forth, or rather, I went back and forth because
I was gonna
Meg-
say, I like how you're like we. Where
No,
you're
there's no
like,
we
this
here.
Is who I think he is.
there's
then
no
I was
French
like, no,
theater
he's
here.
not.
No, Meg has decided to go one way. I've decided to go another. I believe that David is a Ravenclaw, and that's because, okay, first of all,
Just because you want him.
shut up. It is, but that's not the point.
she wants him in her house. Is what's happening.
That's not the point because I've waffled between like.
She literally told me I want him in
Yes,
my house.
that's. I know what I said. I'm admitting to it, Meg. These are facts. Good for you. You got a fact right. Okay. Anyway.
Wow.
Oh.
Speaking of Ravenclaw nonsense.
Okay. Well, you're in even more trouble because if your listeners don't know, I'm not only a Ravenclaw. I'm also a Virgo. So it's like doubling down on every irritating quality of any Ravenclaw you can find. It's also backed
Anyone
up
wants to know why I
by
yell at
my
Carla
astrological
in our
sign.
podcast.
No, don't yell at me. Don't waste your breath because I don't really care what you have to say.
This is a great advertisement for listening to you guys talk.
This is exactly what I want to listen to, actually. So continue. I love it.
Her to go with what I'm saying. So
Yes.
I'm the Ravenclaw whisperer.
She is the Ravenclaw whisperer. However, okay, because we were going back and forth a lot, and the reason that I'm going to say that he's a Ravenclaw is that he does have certain routines and systems that he has to follow to make himself feel like all is right in the world. And for example, like his 9-step skincare routine, the way that he has to have certain things, and he's pretty intransigent about them. The whole thing in the episode where he finally declares that Patrick is his boyfriend, where Patrick and Stevie are joking around about how he can't compromise, and he tries so hard to pretend that he can, and he absolutely cannot. He's incapable of it. He presents things as objective fact. Okay, fact. The plungers look awful in the front of the store, which, by the way, I agree. Like, ew. So they should go in the back. If people want them, they can come and ask me for them. That's a fact. The lip balms should go by the counter because they're best sellers. Fact. They're easy to buy and an impulse buy. Yes, of course, you put the lip balm in the front. What do you want, Meg?
I just want to. So at the end of the episode, though, where are the plungers and the lip balm? Are they in the back or are they in the front because he compromised?
And do you ever see them?
I'm
in
just
the
saying.
Front?
I
Meg,
am just
let me
saying.
ask you a question. Do you ever see them in the front from
do
that
you
episode
really
forward?
pay that close of attention? You
I
do not
do.
Pay, you do not. You're
Yes,
so full
I
of
do,
shit.
Meg. How do you know me for this long and you don't think that I paid attention to this?
up. Continue talking, Carla.
You don't see.
No, this is you being
plungers.
stubborn.
No, this is just objective fact, Meg.
Objective fact
I bet some weirdo on the internet looked at where the plungers were every episode after
is
that
the
one, so I'm
important
gonna look it
part of that storyline. The important part of that whole story is that at the end of it, they're in the front of the store because he compromised with Patrick. Because
no. It's not because he
it made
compromised.
good
It's
business
because
sense.
he wanted to pretend to compromise so that he wouldn't be called out on not being compromising. Because if there's one thing that we Ravenclaws hate
But
more
he
than
did.
anything else is having our hypocrisy pointed out to us. It's like,
But he's not a Ravenclaw, so
Okay, listen to me.
Wow.
Listen to me.
Damn.
He is.
Damn.
He is. He is. There was something. Oh my god! And I wish that I had written it down. That you guys were saying about in the Dash and Lily episode that was like, ticking off all these boxes, and that's why I went back to David being in Ravenclaw from the guest that Meg and I had.
Oh, I've just
shared at
realized
one point.
something that's unfortunate. Anyway, continue.
Oh no. Okay. But anyway, so Meg and I had gone back and forth about this for a while, and the conclusion that we came to, I ended up coming back from it because after I listened to that episode, I was like, okay, well, no, this still sounds like a lot like David to me. Like David sounds more and more like a Ravenclaw to me, and he does do that thing where if there's a truth that contradicts his truth, he will embrace it as if he had known that all along. He's like, yes, of course, this is it. That's what I meant. Clearly, like all those things I said before, don't listen to that. Like this is what I meant, of course. He's like I said, the intransigence is a big thing because he is stubborn like no other. And he will. I think that part of the reason why his dynamic with Patrick is so great is because Patrick knows how to really talk to him and talk him down from stuff. And to kind of get around those very stubborn tendencies by. He knows that the way to get David to turn around on something is to make it seem like it was his idea all along. Like, yes, of course, David, this was, he turns whatever. Meg's shaking her head at me and it's very distracting, and she has her hand over her head in that very
You wanna go,
judgmental. Yeah, Meg, go.
no, because he's a Gryffindor. Like we just had this whole conversation about validation in Gryffindors, and David absolutely needs validation from people around him. He is very brave. He's willing to have tough conversations and that don't go necessarily how he wants them to go. He's fiercely protective of the people that he loves and expects that loyalty in return. He's also very needy of the people he loves. And I had a lot of other things, but you starting to talk about David as a Ravenclaw again just made my brain short circuit because
No,
I don't see him as a Ravenclaw at all.
David is a Ravenclaw who's been through a lot. No. He's a Ravenclaw who's been through a lot. So he has these insecurities, not because... But
he has
insecurities,
a very protective shell.
He does.
And he is a toasty marshmallow inside.
But he also knows who he is. He knows who he is, Meg. He knows who he is.
But you don't know who he is because you're wrong.
Oh my God. You know,
you
Meg.
just want David in your house.
How can you say that, Meg? You're doing the same thing with me.
No, but I'm right.
David's my favorite, but the house that he's in has nothing to do with that.
And you just want him to be yours because he's your favorite.
Watch, these two are going to say that he's like a Hufflepuff or something.
They are going to say
the way Rachel is hiding her
he's
face.
He's not a Hufflepuff.
David is a Hufflepuff, and I will not budge. Yes. Absolutely will not budge. He's the first one I had sorted immediately.
He's not a Hufflepuff.
Yeah, he is though.
He is though. He is
100%. It's not about the hypocrisy being pointed out. He just doesn't like being seen as wrong. He doesn't like being perceived as someone who is wrong. It's embarrassing for him.
I feel like that's still a Gryffindor trait.
I feel like that's
honey, I love being wrong. You can call me wrong and stupid all you want. It's fine.
See, this is where I wonder that I actually a Gryffindor because I hate being called wrong.
You're not a Hufflepuff.
I get really embarrassed thinking that I'm wrong.
I guess that's only if you care about that topic.
No, always.
David cares
never want to be seen as wrong ever.
Carla and I have a whole podcast where we don't like to be seen as wrong, no matter how we feel about us. Did you not just see us arguing?
Right,
about houses that we don't care about.
Yeah, but Meg, is it a perfectionist thing?
Who says?
Meg, hold on a second. Is it a professional? Is it a professional thing? Is it you don't want to be embarrassed in a group of your peers, or is it like a class thing?
I have no peers
because that's what I see as David's issue. Not just like I don't want to be wrong in this argument. It's really gonna piss me off if I'm seen as wrong. Like I have that too, but for David, it's like I do think he comes from this sort of privileged upper class lifestyle. He doesn't want to be embarrassed in front of these people, right? So that's what it lends to. It's
for me, with David, it's a personality thing. He has these ideas that he has formed about the world, and anytime that anybody tries to enlighten him on something or another, he's like, no, because I have all of this wealth of knowledge that I've accumulated for living a hard life, and I have come to these conclusions, and my conclusions are correct, including the conclusion that he's broken. He has internalized this idea that he's broken because so many people have told him you're broken over and over and over again.
A clown
That's what
left
he has learned.
in the middle of the... No, for me, a lot of things that made me feel like Gryffindor is honestly, and this sounds really, really bad, but he has like this neediness and abandonment issues that I feel like we see with a lot of Gryffindors, where he pushes people away before they can hurt him, but he also wants them to be close to him. Like, it's very, and you guys have talked about this a lot about all of your Gryffindors, where it's just like, go away, no, please, I need you here with me. And he has that in spades. He tries to keep things very
but it's not people he actually cares about. Like, Gryffindors do that, like Dean with Cass, where they're like, this is getting too serious.
He did that with Stevie at first. He did it with Patrick at first. The whole olive branch.
He doesn't do it. He does not do it. No. And here's the thing, too. Stevie and Patrick are becoming his family. When he gets back together with his parents and Alexis, he's chasing them to where they're going. The first time that they leave the town, and he's like, who am I supposed to stay with? Like, you're all leaving me. What the fuck? Like, I'm supposed to stay with you. And then at the end of the whole show,
feels like it's not arguing against me.
Yes, it is. I just said Stevie and Patrick are becoming part of his family. It's not a Gryffindor thing to be going. It's only Gryffindor to push people away when it's becoming too serious. And you're like, oh my gosh, these people have the power to hurt me. David is pulling people towards him because he's trying to create something. At the end of the season, when Alexis is like, Mom and Dad are moving to New York, I'm moving to New York. David's like, well, obviously I'm moving to New York. And obviously Patrick's moving to New York. And obviously Stevie's moving to New York because they're part of my thing. And like, I don't even need to consult them because of course they're coming with me.
but he also very much did the push away Stevie and Patrick, the whole olive branch story arc.
Again, for
him.
Okay,
not barely.
Here's
yes, it is barely because that was resolved in one episode.
I'm going to
and
interject.
halfway through the episode, he was only still doing it because Patrick was giving him gifts, and he liked getting the gifts because he liked feeling needed, because he liked having a part in the community with Patrick.
For drama that
Hufflepuffs are
especially
insanely dramatic. It's incredible.
Are you sure
Ravenclaw,
you're not a Hufflepuff?
This is not an argument
Lauren?
for Ravenclaw.
No.
This is not an argument for Ravenclaw.
No, this is an argument for Gryffindor.
Do not start going dramatic.
I just said, Lauren, that this is how Meg managed to turn me around and get me on board with the Gryffindor thing. Is that
so now you're not saying
David
Ravenclaw.
Lives for drama.
Oh God,
he will participate in other people's drama,
Carla,
and will start it over nothing. And the prolonged break with Patrick
Carla,
that he should have resolved so quickly, he dragged out for days and days after when he wanted to get back with Patrick because he was getting gifts and because he was getting attention and because he was getting drama out of it. And
it's because he was feeling needed, which he has never felt before.
And it's because of the olive branch. Like the whole thing.
Does not argue against Gryffindor.
It does. No, it argues for Hufflepuff because he was trying to find a place.
I swear, is it
to
because
these people.
You are under 40 and therefore you can't hear my voice? Is this a thing?
No.
Is this a thing where under 30s just can't hear my voice?
Carla, I'm not listening.
When you were teenagers and you could go to malls and you could hear the high pitched tone, and I no longer could because my hairs burned off, and I could no longer hear them, so I could shop at the stores, and you couldn't shop at the stores.
I've never been wrong.
But
so I don't know why you think I
feel like it's completely a millennial versus Gen X millennial thing, where if you could hear what I'm saying,
never happened.
And it's like, Lauren, you're like a tsetse fly right now, to quote David.
That makes me say,
and you know,
Rachel,
that also goes to something about David.
So you know
is that he was having a perfectly good time kissing Ted, who was so hot, and there was drama around him, and he was having fun, just having fun. But then when it got dramatic, he was all about it. Because
all of this for me to say, Carla, I was just responding to Lauren. I was listening to you, but Lauren said something, and I was just responding to what she said.
Carla, what are you arguing for?
I am arguing. No, I'm actually not arguing for anything. I'm arguing because I want to argue.
Have you met Carla?
No, that's exactly right. I'm arguing against Hufflepuff because it's going to be either, listen, it's going to be either Ravenclaw or Gryffindor. And I'm just supporting Meg's argument because I'm supporting against Hufflepuff. That's all I'm doing. I'm not here for, I told you, like, I think I'm going to be wrong about more than
I could see him be a Hufflepuff before.
But anyway, but he will do stuff he doesn't want to do if other people want him to do it. Like, you know, the selling allez-vous, which his mom was all into. He couldn't care less one way or the other. But his mom was like, oh, we're going to sell allez-vous. He's like, okay, let's do this. And when he did the number for his mom, because she was sad that she couldn't do the machine gun ballet the way that she had, when Patricia Lupin had food poisoning and she had to drop out, and so
Lauren's just done because you started
I don't know.
You're describing a Hufflepuff.
You're just explaining instances in which David fulfilled his role to his family. Like, keep going, I guess. Whatever.
No, but I feel like no, he's not a Hufflepuff. A Hufflepuff.
Okay, hang on. Why is he not? Don't tell me why he's a Gryffindor. Why is he not a Hufflepuff?
Because I don't know what a Hufflepuff is, and therefore it's wrong.
You described one.
You described one. Yes. You said what
like
it was.
I said, I would see David as a Hufflepuff before I'd ever see him as a Ravenclaw.
Yeah, I can't put him in a Ravenclaw. I'm sorry.
He's not a logic house. I don't know where you got that idea.
Because he makes his own logic. Because it's not about having logic. It's about creating your own logic.
That's an emotional house. They're creating logic based off emotion.
So when I kept changing back and forth with David, it was between Gryffindor and Hufflepuff because I feel like those are two sides.
Why
of the
did you decide
coin.
against Hufflepuff?
Because we hate the word Hufflepuff. I mean, it's just intrinsic.
No, it's not because I hate the word Hufflepuff.
And I want to stab somebody. Okay. That's just my personal thing.
Okay, well, I didn't decide because of that. I decided because I didn't want to have two Hufflepuffs in my same sorting hat for the most part.
Well, you won't. Spoiler.
Spoiler. No,
I agree with that statement at least.
I obviously don't because David is a Gryffindor. No, because I feel like I don't know. I think he puts himself out there and takes a lot of risks that I feel like would not necessarily be in the Hufflepuff house, not because of a family or anything like that, but personal risks for himself. And that's kind of where, like, the whole brave thing, but it's not like a knight. I just felt like he was a Gryffindor because he does do a lot of big and bold and brave things that I think a Hufflepuff would be a bit more hesitant about.
Wow.
And like also, Thor does big and brave and bold things, right?
I don't care. I don't give a shit about Thor.
I'm just saying, you're talking about big and brave and bold, which are like Gryffindor buzzwords that I can't stand. So I'm saying like,
that's why I said wow.
Right.
Okay,
so
well, again, you're talking to someone who actually does not give a shit about Hufflepuff houses or Hufflepuff.
Oh my God,
Hogwarts
I'm so sorry,
houses.
Haley. Haley the Hufflepuff.
Ouch! You guys are getting roasted out here.
I don't care about Hogwarts houses as far as
Haley
their
roasts me no matter
buzzwords
what
go.
I say, so I really I'm at the point beyond where I care.
Okay, look, Hufflepuffs, if you want to go all stereotypical, are extremely hard workers. They want to fulfill a role. David is a very hard worker who wants to fulfill a role. Like, it starts off as like he needs money for his face cream or whatever, and his dad's like, that money doesn't grow on trees, so he goes to get a job at a grocery store. But it turns into he goes to the blouse barn, and he gets in there and immediately takes over and changes everything. And like, that lady has no idea what's going on.
Wendy.
He takes over the company. Yeah, Wendy. He takes over the company credit card. Like, he immediately goes in and is like, I'm doing this because this is what I do. Like, I'm a brand manager. This is David. And he's got like nothing to say that. But he's like, I'm a brand manager. This is what I do. So that's what he does. And then Rose Apothecary is the same thing. And he does need a little push to do it, to like start the store. But once the store is started, he's like, I got it. This is my thing. I know how to do brand awareness and blah, blah, blah. So he's a very hard worker. His relationship with Alexis is extremely Hufflepuff Slytherin. How he treats Alexis, him being like, I always have to look out for you and worry for you. Like, when you're off doing whatever you're doing, like, I have to freak out about that. And Alexis is like, you shouldn't even be thinking of me at all. Like, I don't think about
All
you.
this feels
when I'm
like
off about
all of this feels like Gryffindor stuff to me.
Same.
No.
But I feel like,
No.
okay, no, Carla, you're sitting
That's
here
like-
saying
and like-
Ravenclaw,
and that's-
so
and
you
that's
don't
the
get to
role-
sit here and
and
talk
that's
about
the role
Gryffindor.
I'm sitting here trying to
but
support
that's the
you.
role he fills in his family.
I love
and more, and like, he has to do this stuff for Moira because that's what Moira needs, and he has to do this stuff for his dad. And when he's living in New York, here's another thing that sounds like weird, but was hugely Hufflepuff. David doesn't have any real friends.
No.
Because he's away from people, he's away from a community he actually wants to be a part of. He doesn't want to be in this highbrow gallery where he's not actually selling art prints or whatever. Like, his real place is like in a Schitt's Creek type area where it's very small and it's very like not isolated, but it's very comfortable, and where he's the most dramatic bitch around. And I've said this in the past, and Rachel and I have talked about this a lot because this is a thing that people don't think about. Hufflepuffs are extremely dramatic and can be extremely petty. And I think it comes from, again, like, knowing your place in a community and how you fit into the community and how people need you, that when it gets to the point where somebody's pissed you off or they've made you feel like your role's not that great, they're like, well, I'm going to punish you for this. And it's Cass fucking walking away from the bunker, or Annie Edison making them all strip off their clothes so they have to find her fucking pen. Like,
It's the neurotic
Like,
drama
amazing.
queen. It's
I
a
love
neurotic
Annie.
kind of drama. It's not a big, volatile, screaming in your face, angry, like Meg, you just sit in like I have done several times. It's not the same kind of anger and drama queen. It's not at all the same type.
I would argue that it is the same type. I would argue that it is the same type. Like, he really does get very upset about these things, and he just blows up. He doesn't.
No, he
do
doesn't,
it.
because he doesn't. But he goes, "Oh my god!" and then he's like done.
No,
and,
he's not.
Yes, because
He
the
will hold
biggest
things like,
example,
over
the
people's
biggest
heads
example
forever.
that you're giving me is the olive branch with Patrick or whatever, and that lasted like 20 minutes.
How
He was
about
done
the years
second
and
Patrick
years
started
that he
giving him gifts?
But how about the years and years that he holds Alexis needing his help over Alexis's head?
Yep.
That he still brings it up, and we haven't even seen it
Yes,
happen.
that's extremely petty.
But
it's not him constantly
me-
blowing up about it.
But for me, here's where I come from. I apparently have a very, very hard time telling Gryffindors and Hufflepuffs apart. Because you and I have had this conversation where I'm like, I'm a Hufflepuff. And you're like, no, you're a Gryffindor. And I don't understand the difference. So that's why I say Grifflepuff.
No,
You can't say that, Meg.
Get the fuck off my podcast. David's the one I was most certain of. Like, I didn't even consider any other houses for him.
I don't think he's.
And the internet largely agreed with me, which was
rage
amazing.
is not the rage is not the same. It doesn't match with the Gryffindor's rage for me.
No, it's like simmering resentment, and the second that somebody is like, actually, I do need you and I like you, he's like, this is fine now. Like, all right, continue to treat me as the queen I am, and it's fine now. Like, you know.
Yeah, I have to stick with Hufflepuff. I'm sorry, guys. That's not a Gryffindor to me.
Hufflepuff. I'm not sold on Hufflepuff.
What are you, Carla? Because you can't decide.
No, listen, I cannot decide. It's not so much that I cannot decide as it is that I will side with whatever is not a Hufflepuff. And in this case, I will jump on Meg's Gryffindor vote because I believe that there is more evidence.
Again. Carla's actually discriminating against Hufflepuffs, so whatever.
I absolutely am. I just, the word itself, I'm like, ugh, gross.
I am just saying I have a really hard time telling the difference between Gryffindors and Hufflepuffs apparently because they very much feel like two sides of the same coins where you could very easily flip from one to the other.
No,
for me.
No. Please, no.
Oh, am I going to get yelled at now?
Not by me. I'm not going to yell at you. Lauren, you going to yell?
Lauren is like...
No, I don't care. Hufflepuffs are probably closest to me.
What I love about Lauren's I don't care is that she sits further back from the mic.
She's like, I don't care.
This is something that I noticed with Lauren.
Is that she does I spent 2 minutes yelling over you.
Lauren will sit further back from the mic. Her face is red.
Oh
and
my God.
Her posture switches to just like, I'm done with you. And that's
the
where
posture
the
is what gets me. It's very like continue. Be wrong as long as you want to be wrong. That's fine.
Amen. That is exactly it.
I don't have any thoughts about Gryffindors and Hufflepuffs being the same side of the coin. I don't have an argument against that. Rachel will probably scream about it.
Yeah, we don't feel the same way. We don't react the same way at all. We don't. We're dramatic and petty in completely different ways.
Okay, but dramatic and petty is still dramatic and petty just because you do it in different ways.
Not at all. Not at all true.
No. It's the motivation behind.
Right.
I'm more confused.
I feel like we've had an impasse, so why don't we move on to somebody else and then revisit David?
Okay. Maybe we'll revisit
I think
David.
we're done with David. David's very certain.
Guys, that got scary for a little while there. Let's go to Patrick. I'm really interested in what we're
all the stuff that was cut out because
No, I don't want that cut out. That was great. I don't know what Carla was saying. It was all wrong though, so I'm glad I spoke over it.
It was hilarious. That was amazing.
Rachel and I were just like, I like this drama.
It was a beautiful duet. It was a beautiful duet. Okay, so Patrick is a Ravenclaw, and he seems really easygoing, but that's only until somebody decides that he's not right about something, and then he's like all up in arms. Like suddenly it's like, oh no, somebody has argued against my expertise. Let me set them straight. And for most of the show, he is right about stuff, because he's the one who has the business degree and he's the one who's been doing businessy stuff. So he, when he enters David's life, he does have the expertise and he does know the things that he's supposed to do. He is the one willing to do the boring seminars, and he is the one who's willing to, put up the lights and call the insurance company and, all of these things that you're supposed to do to run a business. But then, and there are points that I want Meg to be the one to bring up because she's the one who brought them up to me, so I will not step on her toes. But he wants to be the voice of reason. That's his main function in life, is that I feel like it kind of dresses the part. Like with Patrick, it's more like, okay, I am an intelligent businessman, and therefore I wear the khakis and the shirts with the long sleeves and that are boring and are button up. There's so many things that
I'm sorry.
I'm skipping.
I'm only laughing because this is what Carla thinks a Ravenclaw relationship looks like. Anyway, continue.
Listen, I'm in a Ravenclaw relationship, and this works for me. So.
You specifically were like, Ravenclaws and Ravenclaws can't be together unless they have a lot of therapy.
My husband and I have had a lot of therapy, therefore we work. That's literally what I said.
Your argument was David and Patrick.
Hey,
anyway, keep going.
We didn't have therapy right away, is what I'm saying. Anyway, so and okay, this isn't relevant to being a Ravenclaw, but Patrick is a Raven thumb, and I think that because the man is shaped like a thumb, according to Ronnie, so he's the Raven thumb.
Like a thumb.
And I just had to throw that out
like
there.
Like those guys from Spy Kids?
No, I mean,
there's a whole scene.
Man, help us.
There's a whole bit where Ronnie says that Patrick.
The man looks like a thumb. Yes.
Okay.
And ever since she said it, I cannot see it. I cannot see it. But he generally knows how to talk to people and tell them what they need to hear in order for them to agree with him and to just move forward from their wrong opinions. And whether they want to hear it or not doesn't really matter to him, as long as they hear what he has to say. But I also, there's also the fact that he takes over, like when he and Johnny are having that conversation that Johnny keeps trying to start with him about David and how, I just want you to treat my son right and everything, but Johnny can't get those words out. And Patrick is like, okay, look, I'm going to treat David with respect. I love your family and I'm proud to be joining it. These are all the things that he is, these are facts for him anyway, but he knows that Johnny wants to hear them. And I think that's one thing that is maybe underrated about Ravenclaws is that there is a lot of observation there. And it may not be the same way that it is with Slytherins. Slytherins have a way of observing that's very different from a Ravenclaw. And with Patrick, he also has like the keen eye, and he can tell what somebody's inner cogitations may be in a particular moment, and he will either use it or he won't as the situation calls for. But in that specific moment with Johnny, he knows that Johnny wanted to bring this up. He knows that Johnny can't find a way to do it. So he's the one who's like, listen, okay, it's going to be fine. I love your son. I will treat your son well. And that's all you need to hear. Can we get back to the baseball game now?
I love how you're like, I'm going to let Megan point some stuff out, and then you just talk about it.
No, there are points left.
I also feel it's important that Carla initially thought that Patrick was a Hufflepuff.
I did. Okay. Only because I couldn't figure him out. And I was like, Hufflepuff, because that's the only one that I don't know.
Okay, Meg, what do you think?
Well, I am the one who talked to
Ravenclaw.
Oh, okay. I was just trying to see if there was another.
I think he's a Ravenclaw. He's very observant. He is someone who just kind of absorbs a little bit more in the background. He's not like manipulative like a Slytherin would kind of be. He just kind of absorbs this information. And you know that from how much he knows about the Rose family. Like, who really remembers the store number for the video store that they worked at?
When he does a quips, well, I know the store number of the Dick's Sporting Goods I worked at, but when he does the quips, he throws back things David has said at him, like quotes him exactly. Yeah,
very much
in the past conversation.
Yeah, and he's, I don't know, I love him very much, but yes, he does get really testy if you question his knowledge about stuff. And I think one of my favorite things is his rivalry with Ronnie throughout the whole show, because they have Ronnie work on their bathroom. And because Patrick's uncle is a contractor, Patrick understands how this must be working better than Ronnie, who is actually a contractor. Like, this is her job. He knows better than she does. And his pettiness and testiness with Ronnie about stuff. Like, how dare she eat she has time to eat lunch. And you know what? We need tiles. And she has time to eat lunch.
You know what? Ronnie's the only contractor in the town, and David, as a Hufflepuff, understands Ronnie's role and what Ronnie is doing, and the fact that if Ronnie doesn't do the bathroom,
fine.
No, I'm still going. I'm going to Patrick. If Ronnie doesn't do the bathroom, it's not going to happen. And Patrick's over here like, I'll do the fucking bathroom. It doesn't matter. I can do the bathroom. And then when he
did the lights,
presented with the fact that Ronnie actually will not be doing your bathroom, he's like, no, fuck, never mind. Like, I cannot do the bathroom.
Yeah, well, and that's kind of and that's just, he does not like being wrong. He doesn't like being shown that he's wrong in any way, shape, or form, and he doesn't really concede arguments that he feels like he's right in. He might be like, all right, fine, whatever. he might let you think you win something, but he does not agree at all whatsoever. And this is actually where you guys saw the message I sent to Carla about how Carla was just like, she caved because she didn't want to talk about it anymore, but she secretly always thought she was right.
Hence my bringing David back into being a Ravenclaw during this recording.
No. Yeah, that's...
that's literally what you're saying, though.
No. So Patrick doesn't give me a lot, but we also have, I had him in Ravenclaw, and then Rachel was like, I don't care about him. So
it's not even that. You know what?
I told her why he was a Ravenclaw.
I went to her and I said, it's process of elimination for me. That man is not a Gryffindor or Hufflepuff. That's completely out. And he does not give me Slytherin. Not even like the smallest percentage. He's not a Slytherin at all.
No.
So he must be a Ravenclaw. And I'm like, oh, that feels good. That feels right in my gut. Definitely a Ravenclaw.
Yeah. No. So like only a Ravenclaw, like this terrified me that David was like, I'm extremely uncomfortable with public displays of singing, and he does it. I was like, that's awful. That's a Ravenclaw. That is so chaotic. That is so chaotic to just be like, well, this is how I like displaying love. So
I'm going to wear my fringe vest.
You're going to be okay with it. Yes. And you're going to be okay with it. You'll live. It'll be fine. No, like the biggest thing I could think of when I was trying to explain to Rachel, and this is like extremely rudimentary. You guys had a lot of way better stuff, but he was very much the gay.
I'm sorry. We need a second. We need a second to revel in the fact that we had more fact-based arguments.
No, because I do not care about
this.
Patrick.
No, listen, I don't care why you're agreeing with us. I just care that we were
like
right.
To hear that
and that we had
you were right about I was really proud of you guys. That was awesome.
No, okay.
Stop.
Patrick,
that's all we want.
Can I say my
go ahead.
now?
Host your podcast. I got it. Go ahead.
Patrick is the was he like explained this to David. He is the gay that was like, I don't understand why it wasn't working with my fiance. I just like didn't feel right. And then he met David and it felt right. And like he had no gay panic. He just made out with David and was like, hey, I've never done anything like this before. So like, let me know what's up. And like he's having no issues over it, which was like very Ravenclaw to me, you know, when you are just going through life with your system and then it's like, this one's better. And you're like, okay. And then you go with that or whatever. And then like the other thing that I felt kind of fell in with that is that he would not tell his family, which as a bisexual, I understand, but also didn't understand because his family turned out to be awesome. And I wasn't sure that they had ever really, like, I don't think they gave him a logical reason to think that they wouldn't be accepting of it. I literally think it was Patrick being afraid that he was going to be seen as something that he hadn't been in the past. So that's very Ravenclaw to me.
Yeah, that's what tipped me. I was saying to her, I was like, I know this man's a Ravenclaw. I just know, I feel it and I know it and I've seen it and I understand it. But there's one big like glaring thing. I know there's a main reason, but I can't figure it out. And when she said that, I was like, there it is. Confronted with the truth that makes more sense than your own truth that you've lived. Switch. Hello, Ravenclaw.
No, it's absolutely true because I can't tell you how many times in my life, like, you know, I'll get a piece of information that suddenly fits, but it's more like it's a puzzle and you're missing a piece, and somebody presents a piece to you, and you're like, oh, okay, well that makes a lot of sense, and you've kind of agonized over it so long that this piece of logic just scratches an itch, and you're like, oh, thank God, I can move on now.
Yeah.
I get
or
really
like the way that Patrick listened to this mess of a man leave him like 50 voicemails about what his business was going to be, and then decided that he was going to be, and then filled out the form for him, and then was like, I want to be your business partner, and just completely moved in and took over his life, and was like, this is the way it's going to be now.
Oh, and he's just like, oh, I'll get the money,
which was honestly like that was pretty sexy.
It was pretty.
Yeah. No, it was. And there's the one other thing about Patrick is like he gets very mad when his like plans are foiled, or like when something's not going to go the way that he thinks. Because we talked about this with Abed, where it's like different from Slytherins, where Slytherins are like are able to work the system because they like slither through it. Ha ha ha. But Ravenclaws are like immovable, and like everybody better part or the Ravenclaw is gonna break. But people have to put a lot of effort into that, and most people, it's not worth it. They're like, whatever. So Patrick is here like buying houses in secret and like doing this other shit, and then David comes along with his on a whim shit, like, we're gonna move to New York, and Patrick's like mad. Like he's like, we're not doing that because I did something.
Well, and I love how mad and jealous he gets about Ted kissing David in a game. where Dave was like,
Yeah.
whatever, it's fine. And I kind of hate that you talking about Patrick coming out is actually a weird argument for David as a Hufflepuff.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the validation.
It's an extremely Hufflepuff.
Because
which is, you know what I'm going to say.
It's something
I
I
thought
didn't
that's why
think
Carla
about.
listened to Dash and Lily, because it's our only Hufflepuff Ravenclaw relationship episode.
Well, I didn't
and
get
Rachel
to Lily,
and I were
though.
very excited. Oh, okay.
So that might have to do with it, because I
figured you were just doing
I
Ravenclaw
was
research.
I was
Gotcha.
listening
It's
up
an
to- yeah.
extremely weird pairing that we're very excited to find. So
Yeah.
Well, because I feel like there haven't been that many Ravenclaws that you guys have covered.
Right.
And
That's
I
true.
was looking for
the
validation.
media does not know what to do with them.
No, well, I was looking for like, to try to understand your sorting for Ravenclaw. Because even though I've been sorted by you into Ravenclaw, sometimes I don't understand why. And especially especially when Lauren's like
nothing. Demonstrate it. Fair
No,
sure.
nothing in my
especially
life
when you
more
guys
than
are
I
like
am
the
that you
Ravenclaws
are
are the
Ravenclaw.
worst. And then I'm like personally offended, and then I get sad, and then I'm like listening to other episodes to be like, they have to
then
say
you
something
start to
nice
do
about
research.
Ravenclaws.
You're killing me.
So-
You're killing me
Then
personally.
you do all this research to find good Ravenclaws. So you
Yes,
think if
because
Ravenclaws are the
I want
worst.
to believe that they like me. Like, why are they having me on their
They love
podcast
you.
if they don't like Ravenclaws?
Oh
Like,
my god! How much do I have to kiss your guys' ass? How much, Carla?
Well, not hers, mine. Because I'm feeling like they don't like
I
me.
feel like you've twisted. You guys are so like unfathomable that we have a hard time with you until, oh my god, they hate me.
Yes,
You very much
like I might
twisted
be a Ravenclaw with a Gryffindor rising. Based on that, like that might be just my
Gryffindor rising.
my ascending house.
Well, I actually like that's funny. I like that.
But no, I only got to half of the episode because
In case
by the
the only
time that
clip
I got to
anybody
that
got
half,
popping in
we were
was
about to
Carla
start
going,
recording.
"You guys hate Ravenclaws." We genuinely love Ravenclaws.
So much. Because you guys are hilarious. I don't know.
But the thing is, like, you guys are so unbearable that it's comical. It's not the endorsement that you think it is.
Oh my god!
I keep
love
saying,
you so
I'm
much.
married to one. Like, why would I be in this?
Seriously.
So that you can have
unbearable.
lifelong laughs is what I'm
Oh
getting.
my
No, I'm
god.
kidding.
Are we sure she's not?
I don't
what's
know
the
what
super
you're talking
dramatic
about.
house? I think Carla
feel
might
like
be
Lauren,
a
this is why I
Hufflepuff.
apologize.
I'm
I
a
told you the
dramatic
Ravenclaws.
Ravenclaw.
I knew the Ravenclaws were going to internalize it and take it that way.
So chaotic. I don't know.
They're gonna get
Like,
testy.
They're going to get testy. That's it. I knew it. I knew it.
You would think that you just kissed your your sister's boyfriend with the way Carla
true.
getting
Which,
all
by the way, listen, okay,
flustered.
I never had
I love you so much.
a moment of thought. See, when Meg says that, now I'm starting to believe that she only says it to placate me. Like, I love you so much.
Shut up. Shut
Anyway,
up.
But
Jesus fucking Christ.
I never had a moment of thinking about a threesome with this show until I saw until I saw Ted kiss David, and Patrick get mad. And then I thought to myself, where's my fanfic about the three of them just hooking up?
Oh my god.
I'm sorry. I was just about to say, I can't believe you listened to us talk about Charlie Kelly and think that we hate Ravenclaws, but I bet you skipped that episode.
I'm pretty sure I did. I'm pretty sure I
She
did.
skipped it. Anyway, I was in the middle of a point about
She was in the
Patrick as
middle of a point.
Ravenclaw.
Sorry, Meg.
Rachel's
No.
rage texting me. She's like, I can't believe Carla thinks we hate Ravenclaw.
I am not. I'm literally not. Don't make me
just
show
don't
the
remember.
text.
No, you're not. You need to calm down. She started freaking out. She's like, oh my god, Carla's gonna think I'm talking
Stop.
about.
I don't want the Ravenclaws to think we hate them. I warned you. I told you.
I mean, there are only two Ravenclaws you should care about anyway. Just throwing that
I
out
care
there.
about a lot of Ravenclaws. I have many
Oh my
Ravenclaws in my life.
We actually love you guys a lot. How many, Carla? I have said so many times, I wish I was a Ravenclaw. I wish. I really do.
She could be
This
so
is a
cold
curse.
and heartless and logical. No.
And like the
Anyway.
only reason I don't know a lot of them is because every single second of my life would be that 2 minutes when we were yelling over each
Yes,
other, and my heart
exactly.
So
Exactly.
Either way, I guess I just really loved that scene where Patrick came out to his parents. I had a whole thing I was gonna say and I forgot.
No, say it. Say it.
No, I don't
feel
remember
like
it.
Carla
I don't
has
remember it.
maliciously maligned us, and now I need you to
I don't remember it. I just remember saying I can't. That whole scene, the whole episode where Patrick thinks that he hasn't come out to his parents, but everyone has actually came out to his parents, and David is like, you know what? That's fine. I'll be your business partner, and sacrificing and putting himself back in the closet for Patrick. I'm like, that is the most Hufflepuff thing in the entire fucking world, and that makes me a little insane. And then Carla went on to her thing about Ravenclaws and her ranting stuff, and now I don't remember what I was gonna say, except to say I really love that scene where Patrick comes out to his parents and he's all worried and freaked out about a result that does not come, and he may not have evidence of that, but I feel like a lot of people can relate to Patrick in that situation, and a lot of people can, absolutely can, not as a coming out situation necessarily, but as a moment where there's a very definitive line in your life with your family where before you were one thing and you don't know what's going to happen after if you're no longer the assumed thing. And I think us as women, it's something that we can think about, like when we got our first period, where that's a very definitive, I know it's dumb, but it's a definitive moment in your life where you're like, you're seen as a child. And the way we're taught as women is once you have your period, then you're a woman now. Yep. And you're like, okay, am I supposed to be, what does that mean for me? And I think Patrick had the same thing. Like, what does being a gay man that's out to his family, what does that mean for me? Do I have to start behaving a certain way? Right. Are there expectations of me as a person? So I can understand his hesitancy in that. I don't think he was necessarily actually afraid that his parents wouldn't love him and accept him, but I think that's where his hesitancy really kind of came from, because that was the most relatable I thought Patrick was. like as a cishet woman, white woman, for me to be like, yeah, this coming out moment is something that really resonates with me. It sounds really weird to say, but it was just like that moment of once you say it.
Yeah, it's Ravenclaw. Yeah,
it's very real.
It's like, I mean, everybody can understand it, but it's like what they base their life off of, that this is how I've been, and now I'm going to be something different. So that's scary.
Yes. And then I lost my whole brain.
Because how I live is by how I am.
Yeah. Then I lost my whole brain thinking about how David supported him in that way. And in that way was absolutely Hufflepuff support.
Yes.
True.
Yes. Don't like it. I don't like it.
I am silently agreeing, but I will not voice it.
Good. Okay. Patrick's a Ravenclaw. Carla had imposter syndrome on our therapy couch. Now every time we say we love Ravenclaws, it sounds like it's fake. It sounds like I'm saying something fake. Because she's had this breakdown.
I'll make you sign a disclaimer that you cannot disparage us in this way. These are lies and deceit.
I'm not prepared to talk about Stevie.
Oh, well, okay, we're going to talk about Stevie.
Oh, why do you okay, so hang on now. Is there beef over
prepared.
Stevie?
There's not beef, there's disagreement. There's disagreement because
for me and Lauren too, we got agreement.
It's not beef.
Okay, well, Meg and I went back and forth on this.
To beef? Grade A beef. Okay.
I like how Carla's like, these are our notes when she's talking about these docs things. These are our notes, but all of the arguments
Let me read everything Meg wrote down.
No, I didn't get a chance to write anything down. She's like, these are our notes, because I read them at one point and we're like, okay, yeah, those are all good points and we can talk about them. And then in the time since, she added a bunch and changed stuff and crossed stuff out. So, like, all of my stuff is gone.
No, it's not.
Very Ravenclaw, by the way, Carla. Very Ravenclaw.
Because all of your Alexis stuff is there,
snapped off the
and
planet.
all of your David Gryffindor points are there. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm so excited to hear this.
Is brandishing
I'm gonna get a whole like, oh, look at you getting your shit opposite.
Look at this. Okay, look at this. All right, I just want to say.
Oh my God.
I just want to say these are our notes. And also,
they're your notes that you sent me, and then I was like, okay, those look good, and then you changed them.
You know why there are cross-outs? Shush. You know why there are cross-outs? This is when I was agreeing with you and crossing out my stuff in favor of your stuff. Because Meg is the one who convinced me that Patrick is a Ravenclaw.
Okay.
Because
all of the Ravenclaw stuff stands because Meg sold it hardcore. All right?
She was just mad because she didn't want Patrick in her house.
But anyway, the one point where we could not come to an agreement was Stevie Budd. And
oh boy,
I'll tell you my beliefs about Stevie Budd.
I don't even remember which one I picked for me anymore.
It's the one that is colorful where it says the boobs differ on this one.
No, I'm saying I have lost
She
all
doesn't even believe
perspective.
herself anymore.
Which one?
She's like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't even
Let
know.
me just ask you one thing, Meg. Which one is in uppercase? Because that's yours, darling.
Oh, fuck off.
Yeah, thank you. That's what I thought. Okay, so
thank you.
Stevie Budd is a Gryffindor. Okay, she is.
You can't say you don't like a Ravenclaw on our show anymore, Meg. Shut up.
You're signing that disclaimer. You're before you leave.
I love her deeply. Probably more than almost any other person in the entire world. So I get to tell her to fuck off.
All right. that is how Meg shows her love for me. That's just what I want to
It's
say.
true.
But Stevie is a
Gryffindor.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's all sarcastic exterior, okay, but inside she's just marshmallow fluff. She tries not to get too close to people, but only because she doesn't do well when they leave. Like she has like such an abandonment issue complex thing, and once she's attached to somebody, she won't let go, even though she's sure that they will let go. And she and David have this in common, which is why I was pushing so hard for Gryffindor at one point. Just want to throw that out there.
Spoiler.
But
If you have critical thinking skills.
shush. But Stevie on her own doesn't have like a ton of ambition, but at the same time, she just wants to follow her heart, and she's also like completely steady. She's like a rock when it comes to who she is. She doesn't have any qualms about who she is. She just shows up in her flannel and her jeans.
I feel like you're going to say what you're not describing.
I don't want to hear it.
Keep going.
I don't want to hear it.
Keep going.
But she's completely, as much as she's unsure of her place in the world, but she's not unsure about who she is. Which I think that's one of the things that I love the most about her, and that's one of the things that I find most relatable about her, because she doesn't compromise herself ever for anybody else. Like even when she really wanted to be with Amir, and they had that budding relationship. Her name's Stevie, but there's a budding relationship. But that's not what we're here for.
God, I fucking forgot all about Amir.
Name observations, but
Because he was a piece of shit. Anyway,
Yeah,
continue.
he fucking
yeah,
sucked.
he ended up just completely sucking. But she really wanted something to work out with him, and but then it didn't, and she took it really hard. But she wasn't willing to change anything about who she was, even for him. Like it threw her a bit, but that wasn't so much about losing him as it was like, well, where's my place in the world? Where she went from it being an abstract question to being a more concrete thing in the way that Amir highlighted it, because Amir was like, I'm a traveling reviewer, you're a manager of this motel, this will never work. And she thought to herself, well, this is all I've ever been. Is this all I ever want to be? And it wasn't a question about, is this all I ever want to be? Because then I won't get the chance to follow douchebags around the world. It was a question of, is this who I want to be for the rest of my life? And like when she gets overwhelmed, she completely falls apart in the most endearing, adorable ways. But she generally falls apart about people. When Johnny has that heart attack scare and they go to the hospital and she's, kind of trying to hold it together, but she's also losing her father figure, or she thinks she might be losing her father figure. She has like this internal meltdown because Moira is having a very external meltdown, and there cannot be two people having a very external meltdown. So Stevie decides to have hers internally, as Stevie will do. And, she's kind of laughing at Moira for her meltdown, but she's also freaking out because, her dad of sorts might be very ill. And she has developed this very close relationship with Johnny. And so many times she has shown that she is not willing to let that go. I think in a way, because with best friends, and I mean, look at the four of us. Okay, we have two sets of best friends here who don't live near each other.
But not with each other.
Right.
No, we don't like each other at all.
We don't like each other that much. It's like, no. Let's not cross streets.
We've established that Lauren and Rachel hate Ravenclaws.
Stop it!
I'm gonna see my
You're so bad.
I can't even be like, please don't think this is true, because it just sounds fake now. It just sounds completely fake.
Well, coming from a Slytherin. I'm kidding.
Fighting words.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so kidding, I swear.
I love this though that
What a
Carla.
shitty thing to say to me.
I love
The
that
House of the Death Eaters.
Carla's doing this whole beautiful thing for both of us, and she's just got the wrong.
Oh, Meg,
house.
are you not going to have a retort? You don't have a.
I'm sure she would.
No, Meg
she
had a
will,
different
but
house,
I'm not
didn't
done.
she?
But
Okay,
I'm
okay,
not
okay.
done.
You still haven't said your house.
Oh my god, I know.
you're still
She
just
takes a million
describing her.
years.
Yes,
No,
I
she
take
said
a million
okay,
years. I'm landing
said
the plane.
Gryffindor.
Okay,
Listen
you're
to
building
me.
up to it.
I'm
Okay.
landing the
Go
plane
ahead.
here. But okay,
Go ahead,
so
okay.
you have two sets of best friends. None of us live near each other. You know, we have to like take major trips to see each other, but we make it work. And, you know, I think
I'm thinking of breaking up with Rachel. Go ahead.
Fine.
Go ahead.
Come back to Illinois, and we're 3 hours away from me.
but yeah, so like we make it work as best as we can. And that's something that, you know, like if David and Stevie had to be separated by distance, they would make it work as friends. But her and Johnny, she had a much time partying with Johnny because he does have a more of a father figure role than a best friend figure. They do have that friendship, but they have that father father-daughter kind of bond there. So when every time that she's about to lose him, she loses it. When she's concerned that she might have to end up running the motel alone at some point. When Alexis is trying to shoot the photo thing, and it's like, Johnny, what are you doing with your hands? And then when Stevie takes that hot 5 that turned into a hot 20, it's because Stevie's like, oh my God, this man's going to leave me, and I won't have anybody to help me with this motel. I won't have my father figure here to help me make sense of this. Same thing when she thinks that he's going to die. So, I don't think she's a Hufflepuff simply because she's just too secure in who she is. And also another reason for her being a Gryffindor is that she's more than happy to call out.
I was gonna
David
say,
on
Just
TV.
announced it.
No, she said it
Jesus,
to begin with. Am I the
no.
only one who heard her say
No.
Gryffindor before?
No, I didn't.
I did say Gryffindor at the very
She did.
I
beginning.
didn't hear it.
I did.
Totally didn't
And I
hear
even
it.
said, so Gryffindor, tell me why. Wow,
Oh,
Carla,
I thought
nobody
you were talking
listens
about
to us.
Meg.
Thank you.
No. Meg had said something about why she was arguing with Carla, and you said so Gryffindor, and I was
Because
like,
I was telling Carla to continue.
I was saying
Oh
this is why
my
Meg's a
God.
Gryffindor. Okay, I was waiting for you to describe the one house and then say Gryffindor, but you hadn't said it yet. So
I had said it. I said it at the beginning.
So Carla says Gryffindor.
I
This is pure
misappropriated
Slytherin on
Rachel's
Ravenclaw
comments.
hate crime.
Oh
I
my god,
misappropriated Rachel's comments. It wasn't that I
I'm
didn't hear
so
it.
tired.
Anyway, all right.
So Meg,
I mean, all the stuff Carla said, except she's a Hufflepuff, not a Gryffindor. She doesn't let people in very easily, and I feel like that's a bit of a Hufflepuff thing. But once you're in her circle, you have her fierce love and loyalty. It takes a lot to crack into that shell, but once you get there, you are absolutely in there. I don't think she's very secure in herself. I don't think she has a lot of confidence in her abilities, and I feel like that's part of why she decides to leave Johnny and the Rosebud Motel, because I think she's a little afraid of it being successful and doesn't have confidence in herself and her ability to manage this franchise, which is why she's panicking at the photo shoot, because she thinks they're going to get too successful and then Johnny's going to go off and leave, and she's going to have more than she thinks she can handle. And I think that's why she decides to pretend that she's going to be a flight attendant for 45 seconds.
for Larry Eyre.
For Larry Eyre.
Larry Eyre, because we care about where you go.
She was there for a week, and they're like, "Yeah, you want to go fly the plane? Just this is your life." But I feel like she she's super sarcastic. She's super snarky, but she uses it to protect herself as a defense mechanism, and she does push people away before they can get close to her. I think the roses really snuck under her defenses, and once they were there, like, she's very clearly a part of the Rose family. Like, she was adopted into that family.
Yes, David did that.
Yes. He did.
Thanks. I know he did. I'm not saying he didn't do. What
but
the fuck?
I also feel like she chose David first. Because David wasn't seeking. David wanted to not connect with people
they
now.
They were apparently two lonely Hufflepuffs just trying to find community with each other.
So you got Hufflepuff.
I picked Stevie as a Hufflepuff.
Okay.
She did say that. Did you not hear her?
I did. I said I said everything Carla said except she's a Hufflepuff.
Delete this episode. I think
This is
she's
such
a
a
Ravenclaw.
fucking mess.
I think she's a Ravenclaw, and you can't say no because now it'll be a hate crime.
All right, hang on. This is really funny because I thought she was a Slytherin. So we've got all four.
Yeah, but I convinced
Fucking
you.
hilarious.
Oh, we have
Did I convince you?
We have a full Hogwarts.
No, inevitably,
listen.
eventually Lauren did convince me to Ravenclaw because I read Stevie as a deeply insecure person. Like, deeply. I read all of the sarcasm and pessimism and everything is insecurity, fear of failing. Lauren doesn't think she's insecure at all.
I think she's absolutely.
She's not insecure.
I think she
don't
absolutely
think
is.
she is. No, because Rachel was like, that's why she does the snark and all that. And I was like,
Yes.
no, it's not. It's not
thought.
because she's insecure. It's just because she expects everybody to be going on anyway. So she's just like, I don't need to deal with this. And like, I'm going to do my own thing.
No.
And I don't know. And I don't read it as insecurity either because Rachel was like, don't you think she felt insecure to the roses? And I was like, no, not at all. Like, she clearly thinks she's better than everybody else in the town.
Yes,
When David
she
makes,
does.
like, at the very beginning,
I
when
didn't feel
David
that
makes
way.
that. Yeah, I did. Well, she clearly thinks she's
maybe
smart and that
the rest
of the town
maybe
isn't.
the rest of the town, but once the roses get in there and they weasel into her heart, she is very afraid that they're going to leave her behind.
Yeah, but it's not. So when David makes that dig, like, nobody here goes to college, Stevie's like, well, I've been to college. So like Carla said, she's extremely secure in herself. And I think she thought the roses were, like, ridiculous. Like, I don't think she was threatened by
Not at all.
Who
them
didn't think the roses were ridiculous?
Well, okay, but she, like, constantly wasn't bringing them towels. And she was like, this is just how Stevie does things. Like, I don't think she felt insecure at all. And I do think, so Rachel's like, what's her system? And I was like, I think she's just doing her life at the motel. Like, she's just there doing her thing. She's like, I'm Stevie. And she's like a reverse Britta Perry, right? Like, she's not the one most likely to leave. Like, everybody else is. And she doesn't give a shit. She's like, whatever,
an exact
move
reverse
on.
Britta. She's an exact reverse Britta.
She's like, whatever, move on. And like, and like, here's the thing. The place that she starts getting freaked out is when her great aunt dies and she's like, oh my God, is this going to be me? And then, so it's like kind of a challenge to her system where she was like, I could just stay at the motel and live my life and everything is going to be fine. And then she starts freaking out like, oh my God, I'm going to die here. And everybody's leaving and my ashes are going to be spread in a parking lot. And then
Which was
Alexis
so funny
is going,
that they
yeah.
ended up
And then
breathing in the-
Alexis... Right. And then Alexis is going to the Galapagos and she's like, oh my God, I wish I could travel. So she does is like, okay, this is no longer logical for me. I'm going to change it up. I'm going to go be a flight attendant. And immediately was like, I hate it. What I was doing was perfect. I don't understand why I left. Although she upgraded what she was doing, right? Like, she put more work into it. She was like, wait, I was actually really good at that. And I just wasn't like applying myself. So if I apply myself, I'll actually enjoy it instead of just like tolerating it. And I'll tell you the exact moment that I was
Oh my
like,
God.
No, because there was like, there's like, usually we don't get like a very special defining moment where you're like, holy shit. But she had one. It was really funny. When her and David have their fling, and then David, they're like, we're leaving the town, and David runs away because also Stevie was like, I have actual feelings for you. And then he
breaks
comes
her
back.
fucking heart.
And then he comes back and is like, is this going to be weird? And she's like, oh no, man, I'm over you. And she like was. She was just like, I'm over it. We're not doing it anymore.
I just want to direct everybody's attention to our Twitter chat
Oh my fucking
with
God.
the timestamp
That
at
was
which
a joke.
I sent to Meg a text saying, wait, no, it's Stevie or Ravenclaw. 3 minutes before we started recording. Now, that doesn't mean... I mean, because I'm telling you, I waffled about everybody but Alexis.
No, I feel like I feel like so much of the stuff you talk about her confidence, I feel like so much of that is a front. I don't feel like she...
No, it's like I said before, though. She is confident in herself and who she is, but she is not confident about her place in the world, which are two different things.
I can't even text my husband to bring me more wine.
She has a very clear sense that this is Stevie Bud, take it or leave it. And even when she feels like the world doesn't, know what to do with her, and she doesn't know what to do with what the world is presenting to her, she knows who she is. When she goes and has the job interview for Larry Air, at no point does she try to sugarcoat her personality. It just happens to be that Larry Air is a very low-end airline who will take a surly person.
No, Stevie is exactly like that. She is very much the person who is going to like stand there and everything needs to move around her. I think what she like comes to the realization of is like, I'm not, she's like, I'm really good at standing here and I'm not like using it to bulldoze things down, and I should do that. And so she starts doing it. But she was very comfortable standing there and letting things move around her until she was like, oh, I could actually do something with this.
I was like listening to you describe Gryffindor, and you were like, and Moira was having this really like outward screaming thing, and Stevie decided to internalize it. A Gryffindor can't decide to internalize it. We don't have that power.
I just feel like she's so much more emo than anyone gives her credit for.
So much more emo?
Did you say?
Well, that's the
First
thing.
of all, that's why I put her in Slytherin to begin with, because they're the biggest emos.
But the thing is, I think, and I actually really believe that Ravenclaws are not given credit for how much drama queens we are.
Oh, I'll give you the credit. Don't worry, I'll give you the credit.
Went over that. No. I think we demonstrated that.
We have demonstrated it, but I don't think that has been spoken enough about. Because like in a couple of your
You don't think Britta Perry talked about how
we speak of it every day, every week?
Yes, you and I do, Meg, in a private chat.
Listen to that episode?
And, I did hate listen to that episode. Yes. No, but listen, okay, because one of the things that you said is that that a Ravenclaw will just be like, okay, bye. Okay, you're leaving. Okay, cool, bye. I'm done with you.
They can.
But, yes. But here's the thing: is that yes, we can just peace out on even our most beloved people. Okay. But it's because we've done all of the agonizing over it already internally. And no, Meg, don't give me that face. Don't give me that face.
No,
let me finish what I'm saying. No, wait, hang on. Okay, but we don't make I miss you so much our entire personality. Like we do miss you so much.
That's a Slytherin thing.
We will we will be devastated that you're not with us, but we don't make it a personality. We don't build our lives around that. I feel like that's a
Gryffindor thing because I am one thirsty bitch.
Yeah, no, that's not what she's saying. Rachel, what character did we have that whole conversation about how they can fuck off to the other side of the world, and then as soon as you remind them that somebody misses them, they're like, oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was Abed.
Was it Abed? Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay. I
because
remember having
Troy
that
left.
Conversation. I don't remember. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we.
I never watched Community. I've never watched Community, so I have no.
But no, it's exact. It's because that's what I was trying to differentiate between Ravenclaws and Slytherins, because Slytherin's personality is very much like get the fuck back here. Like my motivations are around keeping you near me and also keeping myself it's a very like weird balance. But yeah, Ravenclaws are like the system first and the truth first, so they can go fuck off from other people. And it's not that they don't care about other people, it's just that they're off doing their thing, being immovable, and then somebody's like, hey, you got a person back home that really cares about you, and they're like, oh yeah, I should go visit.
Yeah, because all of that pain and all of that missing, because like with Meg, I constantly feel her absence. Like it's always with me.
Aww.
That she's not with me next to me. But it's something that I know that it's not something that we can easily resolve. We can't just hop on a plane.
That is why I'm the one who drunk texts you. I miss you so much.
Text
why
you
don't
plenty.
you just come live? No, I'm saying
I
drunk
come live in
text
Wisconsin.
you.
Yeah.
Come move into my basement. Come live with me. And you're just
and I reply logically, where are we going to put my husband and child and my cats? And that's
I don't think about that.
Like I said, I think about Meg often, and I think about how much I miss her and how much my world would be better if she were with me. But I don't build my whole personality around that because that's not who I am. It's not because I don't love her. It's not because I don't love her, and because I wouldn't be thrilled to have her sitting on a couch next to me recording this right now, but because that's not the way that the world works, and I know that, and I can be fine with it, and have that dual being okay with it and also missing her. So I feel like that's like that was what had me torn about Stevie at 8:12 p.m. before we hit record is that I know that, you know, when in season 1, when it looked like the roses were about to move away, and you know, she was like, I can't follow you to New York, like that's not going to happen. It's not because she didn't want to go with David. It's because logically it didn't make sense to her. It didn't make sense to her system and to her logic. And why at the end,
Ravenclaw.
and why at the end of the series, when you know she and David are sitting outside of the cottage that Patrick had put down an offer on, she's like, "Dude, you won." So she's like, logically, it doesn't make sense for you to throw all of this away for New York. You've already gotten everything that you wanted. So this is what you wanted. Why would you throw that over for some idealized version of a place where you don't like being there and you don't like the people who are there?
Yep.
And
exactly.
And if David had insisted and been like, no, I'm moving to New York, she would have been like, okay, bye.
Yep.
Go be stupid.
Yeah, I don't like
I feel like Carla. I
don't
feel
like
like
this.
I
Carla
feel.
said a lot of nice things, but I don't like this.
But I feel like I can tell that you listened to a lot of Sob Pod before this, because I think the fact that you were swayed to Stevie Gryffindor because of daddy issues really makes me. I can tell that you've been listening to us describe Gryffindors.
I was gonna say,
because I feel like that really that was really in your head.
That was like that took up so much space in my room, like in my room, in my head.
I felt that.
Man, we haven't seen a Gryffindor in a while now. That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy. We've had 2 Ravenclaws the past 2 episodes per episode. It's crazy.
It's bananas.
Shall we revisit Schitt's Creek? Because I'll tell you who's a Gryffindor in Schitt's Creek.
I know who's a Gryffindor.
David, right?
We can revisit anytime you want, and I want to be on so I can be wrong about things again, and you can send me back.
So just to recap, Alexis is a Slytherin, David is a Hufflepuff, Stevie and Patrick are Ravenclaws.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are right for 50% of it. That's
Carla's with us for 75% of it.
Some might argue that I am right for 50%.
No, I have reluctantly and very quietly accepted
I was pretty sure that we got
David
you for
as
David
Hufflepuff thing, even though the word Hufflepuff makes me want to throw up in my mouth.
You got me for David.
We did get you for David Hufflepuff.
You did get me for David Hufflepuff. You probably could have gotten me for Stevie Ravenclaw if I hadn't gone to the bathroom and grabbed a beer in the middle of your guys just discussing it. I just feel like she's so... And this is going to sound like such a dick thing.
Yeah, because you hate Ravenclaw, not us. It's you.
Wow, the dissolution of a friendship is going to take place tonight.
I don't know. Ravenclaws, I don't want to, like...
What do you have to say about Ravenclaws, Meg? Just lay it all out there. I want to hear this.
She said, go,
I just feel like she is more openly vulnerable with people she cares about than a lot of Ravenclaws are.
Wow.
I don't know. My husband's oh my God, please. So sensitive all the time.
I said more than a lot of Ravenclaws
so open and vulnerable.
Carla. I did not say
too much.
She's
sometimes.
more openly vulnerable with so-and-so than Carla is with me. This is a Ravenclaw Gryffindor. Yeah. I know.
Carla was just openly vulnerable with like all 5 of our listeners.
You guys are watching.
I'm so care about that.
This was your I'm sorry.
This is a Ravenclaw Gryffindor
Barb,
relationship.
we love you. Haley, we love you.
Just play out
Yes, it is.
constantly, weekly. You can listen to it.
Meg clearly hasn't listened to our episodes because I think every Ravenclaw we've talked about has been extremely vulnerable.
I have absolutely listened to them. I'm not doing a very good job of wording my thoughts and making them work together. But again,
Meg's like, Carla, you don't say I love you enough, and it's bothering me.
Carla,
so you great, you
Ravenclaw
sorting.
Carla, you may feel me next to you, but you don't tell me that you want me next to you.
Considering how often I text you, I miss you. Yeah, I'm so lucky to have you in my life. What did I do to deserve your friendship? I don't know how the stars aligned to put us in each other's.
But part of me feels like you're texting.
She's doing
what did
it again.
I do to deserve your friendship?
Oh my god! I just want to point out that this is a direct reversal of the breakdown that I had earlier.
No, I'm just being drunk and silly now.
It's also a direct reversal of when I got hung up on one thing Lauren said earlier and completely couldn't let it go either with the seeking validation from Meg. Like, I just couldn't let it go. You can't let this go. We're in the same house.
Gryffindor is Gryffindor.
Gryffindor's griffining. They're just Gryffindor around here.
Literally gonna pull
What am I
going to
get pissed about right now? Let's see, what can I internalize?
What single phrase am I
and
going
then
to
she's
say?
going to text me and go, I was mad at you about this, but I've decided to forgive you. You're welcome. So,
No.
You're not going to get that text that said I confronted you here.
It's going to get the other two fighting, and I can just sit back and watch and laugh.
she's going to text me like, no, wait, Carla really thinks we hate her, though.
I don't. I know you guys don't. Or at least I know Rachel doesn't. Lauren, I'm not sure
text
about.
you about
but I know
next
that
year and be
Rachel
like, I think I pissed
There's
Meg off. I really
absolutely
do.
a lot of evidence that I was really pissed off in this episode. Like, so much. I got up and I stormed out twice.
Yeah.
I miss you having to go pee and get
go
a
to the
beer.
bathroom.
Go to the bathroom.
Did. To get more drinks.
And we love Ravenclaws. It's our new tagline.
Sort of brilliant podcast. Ravenclaws welcome.
Yeah. Yes. We're going to make our profile blue for like a month. It's going to be Ravenclaw month.
All right, now that we're fully in agreement and you guys completely agree with us and told us how right we were and you've seen the error of your ways.
If you count both boobs, you guys have 100% agreement because I agree with you guys for David as a Hufflepuff and Carla agrees for Stevie as a Ravenclaw. So together you have full agreement.
I will take it.
I ended up agreeing on everything.
Yeah!
You agree that David is a Hufflepuff?
Yes, I've said that like 5 times now.
No. Maybe you were just so
Go home,
salty.
you drunk, Meg.
Meg's like, no, I'm the stubborn one. That's not what a Ravenclaw is.
No, I'm sorry. You've just been so salty.
I'm very salty about agreeing because I the word Hufflepuff again just makes me itchy. Like I have fleas, but I've never experienced fleas.
My
So I don't know what that
husband's
feels
a
like, but I'm
Hufflepuff.
guessing this is what it feels like.
I just
Maybe
think
it's
she doesn't
just
like the
allergies.
word. I think she doesn't like how
I
it sounds.
I don't. It's just misophonia specifically about the word Hufflepuff.
All right. Fair.
But anyway,
That's fair.
Saying it.
as you were.
But since we were all right and all correct and we all agree on everything now and it's so great.
As
Yes.
our personal friend Jensen Ackles
Why
calls
don't-
them, they are Huffletuffs.
They're Hufflepuff. Why don't you guys tell us where we can find you? What are your projects? What's going on? Tell us all about you.
Gladly, Meg and I host together this podcast called Bed, Wet, or Behead. And in it, you can hear us be very, very judgy about characters. We take a trio of characters each week, and we decide who gets a ring, a fling, or a murder. And we talk about
And
what we
the goat
like or
scream.
don't about each. Yes, what we like or don't about each character. And you can find us on anywhere that you get a podcast of quality and class. And if you want to find us on Twitter, we are at bedwetbeheadpod. On Instagram, we are bed.wet.behead.pod. And on Facebook, just look for Bed, Wet, or Behead Podcast. And we shall reveal ourselves to you. Not in a sexy
Yes.
way, just in a we're there way.
I mean, we're two besties who get drunk and play Fuck, Marry, Kill with fictional
doesn't wanna hear
characters.
that?
What's not to like? And we'll play with characters we love and characters we absolutely hate, or characters we don't know at all. We'll just
do it all. We do it
just
all.
wiki search them.
Totally fair.
Decide their fates based on what you put on Wikipedia.
Also, if you want to check out my photography, my website is carlatemis.com. That's CarlaTemis.com.
.com.
Wow.
I love how you
That
did
sounded
this
like a
beautiful-
whole ass, real ass advertisement. That was crazy. You put on like a real like a announcer voice.
Thank you, Rachel.
Impressive.
I am here to sound professional
If
occasionally.
you want to,
but not
I was
always.
waiting for the PBS. Like, thanks
If-
for supporting
I
our
know, I'm
broadcasting
saying.
service.
if you want to hear Carla as basically a co-host, you can listen to her on It's a Fandom Thing.
Yes, I appear in many episodes, as does Meg, as a matter of fact.
Very nice. Well, we'll be checking all that out.
Yes. So next 2 weeks from now is a shit sorting episode. We have been convinced by Illy and Haley to watch 2 episodes of 911. So we're gonna do that. Rachel and I have been purposely avoiding the show.
Oh my god, I'm so sad.
Oh my gosh! Well, you get to listen to it.
You should have
and
you
will
should have
be-
recorded this part like once we were off because Meg's gonna cry.
I
Okay,
am gonna
well,
cry 'cause
we're
I
going to be
really wanted
seeing
to
Meg
do this
again in
with you
November to talk about Doctor Who. We're also going to be seeing Rachel's husband, George, and Meg's husband, Marty. And Carla won't be here because she hasn't seen Doctor Who, but she'll be here in spirit.
You should just sign out for this so then we can talk.
Good night. Goodbye. Good night.
Thank you all
Have
for
a nice
listening.
evening, morning.
Hope you enjoyed the shit
Thank
show.
you.
Love
Come
ya.
back soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Sort of Brilliant. If our sorting choices inspired any rage or excitement, we'd love to hear from you. We're open to feedback, suggestions for characters to sort, and solid counter-arguments with citations.
Never forget your citations. You can find us hanging out on Twitter and Instagram at SOB_pod or shoot us an email at sortofbrilliant@gmail.com.
And since we're not above begging, please rate and subscribe to Sort of Brilliant on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever else you listen to podcasts. Please share our posts on social media. And if you're a Gryffindor, maybe you'll inspire sorting fights among your own friend group.
The theme music is Hot Shot by Scott Holmes. Can't wait to sort with you again next time. Bye!